Do tell me once we are confirmed live.
It's live for me.
Weird, it's not on my end. Oh, yeah, it is. Theme song. Oh, yeah. Theme song. Theme song.
By the way, should we avoid swearing on here? I'm not sure what the expectations
Maybe
are.
for the first 120 seconds, but
Got it. Okay.
you've streamed with me before. How would I possibly do that? It
Just didn't
really
know
depends
if
on
this is
what
shorts,
happens.
right?
It's on vertical. Yeah, it's vertical
Got it.
feed for the
Yeah,
moment.
I don't know the vertical algorithm very well.
I suspect by next week, well, for a call-in show, vertical is now a necessity. It's easier to get calls on vertical, period. Just like, yeah, it's become, but I would actually say as early as next week, all shows might be both now that the new tool is functional to run the both. We test drove it. I identified the bugs on Wednesday on Justin's show, used Fable to fix the bugs. Then America took Fable away. Since we've been talking about AI a lot, as you people know, Fable was the model that was built on Mythos. Mythos was that model that months ago. Things don't take years anymore. Months ago, Claude was basically like, hey, we built a thing. It's too dangerous to release. They released a consumer version that actually, I don't know if you ran into this at all. I actually tried to just do a security check for the website, and it wouldn't do it.
Really interesting.
It was like, you can't use it for this. We'll only let you use Opus. And it was like, if you want to do a security check, it's so like right now it wouldn't let you, because that was the thing it was so good at, was you could point it at a website and in minutes it would be like, and here's how I could hack it in, like right now. It'd
That's
be so
interesting.
easy.
Yeah, I asked it to fix an old game I was telling you earlier from the 1990s, and it
Yeah.
disassembled it and looked at the machine code. It was wild.
It found it fast. So anyway, welcome everybody. This is Calling It Now. You can call in to debate us. We're a couple of leftist freaks. MAGA, we think that you're just wrong and dumb about so much stuff. MAGA can't govern. Well, I'm going to make that the thing. If you disagree with us on that or any of the other topics, God, or whatever else, 336-543-2101. Obviously, we have been talking about AI quite a bit lately and the impacts of AI on the economy and whether or not socialism is a necessary step for the future. Owen is an actual software engineer, so potentially we'll disagree on some things here. Even between the two of us, we may disagree. Though I wonder if on the fundamentals, like, do you believe AI will lead to mass unemployment that isn't replaceable? Like there will be some percentage of unemployment that there just won't be jobs.
I think until it gains arms and legs, and I don't know. I feel like clients in the software engineering field are very fickle and don't know what they want, and they change their mind every 20 minutes. And I think there's always going to be a need for somebody to kind of build out and manage the production of the projects. And I don't think there's really any way around that. However, I think jobs that would have taken 6 people 12 months will now take 2 people 3 months at most.
And so that's the first part of unemployment is if you take a job, if you take 100 people and you make it now that 10 people can do those jobs, those other 90 people need jobs. And we've actually found that's already happened.
Right.
And in fact, software engineers are one of the big places it's already happened. This is why I've mentioned every time I bring these things up and do these shows, somebody emails me is like, yep, you described me. I moved to California, got this great software engineering job, was making 6 figures, didn't know I was training my replacement. They reduced my section from 100 people to 30 people. I got kicked out. I can't even DoorDash enough to pay my rent. I can't find a new job. The job market's oversaturated. And that's just within software engineering. The questions then also become, so there's AI, and then the other side of AI is the robotics, which is what Elon Musk company is working so hard on. And while all these people are saying like, oh, it's not even going to be that good. Well, the marketplace has just determined that it is going to be that good. As we've just seen AI or AI company SpaceX IPO and make Elon Musk the first trillionaire, which is probably what I want to talk more about today than AI, but we can still be talking about the AI thing if people have a point of disagreement or question that they want to call in on, because obviously we are facing down the barrel of a human ending event, allowing these people to chase profits, which is why it's going to keep happening, because they're not thinking about the long term.
You don't really have a problem with using AI generally. You just think that
not for you and me.
But for like companies and stuff?
I definitely think, I have a problem with capitalism, AI developing under a capitalist framework. Because in a capitalist framework, IP matters super much in the first place. And so AI is ripping everybody off. But when it comes to like, I mean, I have the actual internalized, there's a lot of people who are dumb about this. There is no ethical consumption under capitalism. And so in the same way that when it comes to climate change, oil companies are who we should be attacking, not grandma on whether or not she's recycling. When it comes to labor and shit, yes, small companies should have an expectation of what they should do. And in fact, small companies often take it more seriously, but the ginormous companies are the ones we should be attacking, monopolies and all the like. And so, now that said, I was bringing this up the other day and I was like, shit, I made a really good point and we just like brushed over it. As far as the people who are trying to create careers as independent AI artists, I was a photographer for years and I was good at it and still got shat on no matter what I published. So people putting out creative works have always had a history of, so I'm not for not shitting on AI sloppers just because they're a little guy. They're not actually from a big company and they're just putting out AI slop. And I keep seeing these like terrible, like, this is my upcoming, I'm making my own Transformers movie with lightsabers on threads and they all look like absolute dog shit. I'm like, I had human made stuff that took me years to get trained in to be able to make okay. Even my YouTube channel, we get shit on like crazy. And frankly, the entire atheist community owes me a fruit basket, because the day I joined was the day that production quality amongst atheist creators started being taken seriously. Let's be clear. I mean, like, legitimately, find me a decent set and camera before I joined. You were doing cartoons, so I'm not trying to shit on you.
Production was bad, though. Yeah.
Yeah, the production value of that was literally the reason I knew I would do okay. Was one, I already knew I could communicate, and two, I was like, not one person is taking production seriously. Drew was starting around that time and he took it a little more seriously than the others. I had more of a background, so I could from day one look better than all of them. Right. Anyway, so yeah, shit on AI sloppers because they're making shitty AI slop, and shit on the non-quality of stuff. Because that's tale as old as time. But there's huge problematic things that are happening. This shit with data centers. Near where I live in Texas, there's this city called Taylor, and there was people who donated 87 acres. You all might have seen this on the news. Donated 87 acres to the city of Taylor for use for a park. They wanted a park for the people there, because there's one park in Taylor and it's kind of, I've been there, it's kind of shitty. It's okay. It's got a lake with a little island in the middle, and you can smell the island because it's covered in cranes. It's covered in like cranes and herons and stuff. Okay. You can just smell the bird poop. It's like a I don't know, it's like 50 yards by 20 yards, this island incredible. In the middle of the lake, and it just smells like bird poop. Sounds amazing. Anyway, they donated an 87 acre farmland for the purpose of building a park, and the city just sold it for $10 million to a data center. Wow, that's messed up. Yep. Jesus Christ. The capitalist framework of the development of AI. Otherwise, I love AI. I love the idea of AI. I love the idea of what it could be. Like whenever you see them showing it, looking at X-rays and catching breast cancer 5 years before doctors did, you literally sit there and you go, oh my God, that's so fucking awesome. And in a socialist framework, that's how all cancer would start getting detected eventually, earlier. And instead, in our framework, it's going to be like, hey, so welcome in. Yeah, we're going to do this scan for you. John is going to look at it and hopefully catch some cancer. But if you want to do a subscription for $8.99 a month, we'll have an AI check. Like it's not far before it's that. Do you want to pay extra at the doctor's office for an AI consultation? Kind of bullshit.
Yeah, totally. I think capitalism is the problem for sure. And I don't have 100%. A problem with AI either, generally. I think it's, my brother used to work at Google long ago. I'm talking 20 years ago. I was like a kid. And he was telling me how Google was taking the water in from the municipality as gray water. It had been filtered out, running it through their systems, and then sending it to the treatment plant to be treated. Like, this isn't new. This is how data centers have always worked. And it's honestly not even been a problem this whole time. But
now at the scale it's going to be. Like, literally the size of the one that's going up in Utah will heat Utah. It's going to raise the temperature of Salt Lake City. Have you looked? Do you know about the Kevin O'Leary data center going in Salt Lake?
No, I don't.
Day one that it is open, it will consume twice as much as the rest of the state combined.
Wow, dude.
And Utah's in a desert. They're building them in deserts, places that are difficult to get people to live and stuff because the land there is so cheap. So they're buying cheap land. Then they're going to be piping in water from the same water sources. It does affect the available water to other people.
I believe it's a closed loop in the new ones, though. It's a closed loop water source in new data centers. So they're not using new water as consistently as they used to.
So the thing is when you build that first one, also, I don't think it is closed loop, the Salt Lake one, but when you build one that big, twice of a state's consumption, you still have to fill the loop. And so you're talking about filling the loop with a Lake Michigan's amount worth of water from the local reservoirs. Yeah.
Absolutely nuts.
And then the other problem being that they are putting in these multi-billion-dollar investments to build these things, and they don't. I was asking my brother the other day, I was like, so how long until your job gets eliminated and you go start working at a data center? And then how long after that? Because he also works in the software engineering field. And he's like a higher up software engineer. I don't know what the tiers are, but I don't know what they are. He's in charge of a lot of people. And so he's like one of the ones where, if anything, the people under him will get eliminated, and then he'll have agents working for him eventually. AI agents. Anyway, how long until he's like, dude, what do you mean go work at the data centers? The data centers aren't filling up. There will be a few people there, but they're just going to be walking around and checking for fires and turning things on and off for a little while. But the data centers aren't filling up. It's not like, hey, we just bought this big piece of land to put in a call center. And it's like, oh, well, that's going to affect traffic and that's going to suck. But, 1,000 local residents are going to get a job and 1,000 more from our surrounding areas. People aren't working in these. They're building basically one giant graphics card. They're building a giant, I've even seen the architectural layout when you look at the x-ray of them, and it's like, it literally looks like a CPU.
Right.
It's kind of weird.
That's pretty cool, actually. But yeah.
Yeah, again, in a socialist framework and with climate change in mind, all super cool stuff. Instead, Elon Musk is worth $1.2 trillion, which
absolutely insane.
The crazy thing about his net worth now being 1.2, the 0.2 is still not okay. Like the 0.2, people I feel like just see the 0.2 and it's like, oh, he's worth $1 trillion plus 200 billion on top of that.
Which is like close to Larry Page's net worth, right? Or close to Jeff Bezos's net worth. The 0.2 is alone.
His extra 0.2. Tesla.
That's nuts.
Is it Tesla or SpaceX that trades 96 times revenue, by the way?
I'm not sure.
Well, it's one of the two of them. Which one of Musk's? Which one?
SpaceX just went public, I believe. That's what kicked him over the top.
Of Musk companies trades. I'm just going to do 90x plus revenue, which is not a way also anybody has ever evaluated these things in the past. Like right now, if you wanted to get my net worth, you would look at the revenues and the profits of the line, and you would times that by about 5, I think it is like a normal average one. Like, what are 5 years of profits that my company is generating? That's what you could describe as my net, or what I'm worth, because I can't take that dollar amount to the bank. This guy, let's see, SpaceX, it is currently trading at roughly 90 times revenue. Other similar companies doing stuff more advanced, mind you, NVIDIA is only trading, and this is still too high, at 20 times revenue.
That's nuts. I guess they think they expect it to do like much better. Yeah, I think it's like 8 times net or 5 times gross income, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, absolutely wild.
Hang on, I'm going to even put it up. I want to make sure I've got the exact right numbers. Time is, because I know I saw these. For people to perceive this, and absolutely, if you're watching right now and you're like, capitalism, great, capitalism, I'm sitting here and telling you, no, it's not. Capitalism is bad, and should be illegal to be a trillionaire. We should do terrible things to people who make who are billionaires. Billionaires should not be allowed to exist. There is no way to earn $1 billion. And for the people who are like, oh, you're just jealous because you can't. The whole thing is supposed to be he got there not by luck and not by circumstance, but by hard work. Lots of people work harder than him and are still in poverty. That is a fucking lie.
100% agree. Absolutely. People work their nuts off. Like, people will work 16-hour days. Elon Musk pretends he works 16-hour days, even though he has like an account that has like, basically it takes 40 hours a week to get this account in this game. What was it? Path of Exile or whatever?
People did find out he was cheating and
having some
Chinese kids play it for him.
But he pretends that he does all of this shit. It is literally not possible to do because there isn't enough time in the day. There are people out there who work their nuts off 16, 20 hours a day for nothing, for like a fraction of a fraction, literally a rounding error in his bank account. I don't want to hear it about how hard he works. Complete nonsense. He sits around, plays Diablo, and gets Cheeto dust all over his keyboard.
Guys, here is what you need to understand. In fact, just for fun, this isn't meant to be, this is not questions you should know off the top of your head, so it's fun to see the estimates. For the record, I'm not trying to make you look dumb. If you had to guess, how long do you think 100,000 seconds is?
Oh, I know the answer to this. You're asking me?
100,000, only 100,000 seconds.
100,000 is about 3 days, roughly.
Not quite. Good guess though, but that was good. That's 1.16 days. It's 1 hour, 1 day, 3 hours, 46 minutes. And for the record, I don't know these off the top of my head either. I'm reading them. I pulled them all up to be sure. Okay. How long would you guess is, so people, the reason why I'm trying to give you this is the idea of money versus seconds and how much of it a person is getting to have. So if you think of $1 equals 1 second, if you make $100,000 a year at 1 second conversion, you've essentially made 1 day, 3 hours and 46 minutes of time, 1 second per dollar. How many would you guess is 1 million seconds?
11 days.
You're quite right. 11.6 days, a little bit more. There's 11.6 days. So if you make $1 million in seconds, that is 11.6 days. Here is the difference, the massive scale difference. Do you know how long 1 billion seconds
31
is?
years.
31.7 years, guys. Almost 32 years. So if, again, dollars or seconds, 1 million seconds is only 11 and a half days. But 1 billion seconds is 31.7 years. You want to tell me that it is possible on that scale to make 31.7 years, again, $1 million, way more than a person needs to live comfortably. Also, your happiness index is already beyond, if anything, if you make more money, your happiness index no longer meaningfully goes up, as in you won't be happier, you won't be more fulfilled. And yet you are hoarding. Well, right now, if you're a billionaire, you have almost 32 years of seconds, while some people have negative seconds. Many people's net worth is negative, and they are working hard. Okay. Do you know? Have you done it yet? This is the difference between a person who makes $1 billion and $1 trillion. Do you know how much $1 trillion is?
31,000 years.
31,700 years, my babies, my people. People, a trillionaire, if it is seconds. Oh my God, I get so fucking mad about this. If you have 100,000 seconds, this is the scale, 100,000 seconds, you make it to tomorrow. It's a little bit over a day. If you have 1,000,000 seconds, you make it to 2 weeks from now almost, 11 and a half days. If you have 1 billion seconds, you've just waited 32 years. 32 points, almost 32, 31.7 years. The idea that if we convert dollars to seconds, it is acceptable for one person to possess 31,600 years.
That's 3 times older than our writing system. Like, we weren't writing 31,000 years ago. I don't know that we had spoken language 31,000 years ago. It may be some rudimentary version.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we definitely didn't have written. We didn't have. That is how much money. And I will remind you, he has an additional 0.2. So 31,000, a fifth of 31,000, essentially another 6,000 years. If dollars were seconds, he has the equivalent of almost 40,000 years. Who is going to call in and defend that people should be allowed to be billionaires? Who is going to call in and defend that people should be allowed to be trillionaires? I don't know what the exact number is, but I believe it is possible to not be evil if you are worth more than $100 million. The number that number can't be, you are committed to being evil, is lower than 100 million. I just know I can easily defend at 100 million. I don't know where the exact, and there are some people who are fully evil at $1 million because of their million, and there are some who probably are late bloomers in their evilness, and the only evil thing they do is fuck up their distribution.
I think it's evil to sit on literally $1 billion while doing absolutely nothing for society. Like, you should be giving away until the safe is empty. I think that Bill Gates' wife, Melinda, I think that she said that. I'm giving things away until the safe is empty. That's what she's been working on. That's super respectable.
I got to tell you, her second act after the marriage is going a lot better than his.
Oh, yeah. Holy shit, dude.
Bill's having a rough time, guys. This whole... It's not looking so good for him.
Oopsie days. Just picked a whole bouquet of oopsie daisies. He tried to get...
I just picked a whole bouquet of oopsie daisies.
He tried to get... What was it? The STD medicine from Epstein so he could slip it into her drink. Because he caught an STD from one of Epstein's...
Oh, he tried to cure her, the STD he probably passed to her? That's fucking bleak.
From what I understand, they were adult women, but still, holy shit, dude. That's not good.
Anyway, that phone number's there. MAGA, capitalists, right-wingers, Christians. We are ready to debate with you, argue with you. So far, everybody who has attempted to call in has hung up and quit. Because I think... to some degree, y'all must know. It is funny, too, how a lot of right-wing people will start to be on board with like, yeah, that fucking person is piece of shit. Like, rich people, they don't get it. They're out of touch. Da, 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 da. And then you're like, yeah, fuck Elon Musk buying the elections. Well, now, hang on right there. Hang on. I like this foreigner. I like this foreigner coming into America, being here on an illegal overstayed visa, so was an illegal immigrant, bought his way to citizenship anyway, and then is buying elections. That one I like. There's a specific reason why. There's a specific reason why I'm okay when it's him. It's a something. There's just something about him when he does it. Y'all getting the message here? I'm saying it's because he's white.
Right. Dude, I didn't real like I knew that South Africa was a really horrifyingly racist place. I knew that, but I didn't connect the dots that Elon Musk was from South Africa and grew up in apartheid South Africa until he started going completely off the rails with, Trump and everything. Then I started to see the signs of how he acts, the things he says and does, and how he treats people from the black community. I mean, it's
He is
insane.
constantly tweeting about black crime rates recently
Yeah.
too, as though we can't put two and two together on why he's doing that.
I don't know who managed his reputation for all those years, but damn, they like somebody. I'm sure they got picked up by somebody important.
I think it was more of a like for a long time he at least looked like he was trying to be on the right side of issues, even if he was on the wrong side of like, overall you're still a super rich person. Like for the longest time he just acted like all I want to do is save us from climate change. That's it. That's my whole mission.
And AI. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And now he's like all I'm doing is building the robots that are going to take your job.
Yeah.
All I'm doing is buying the politicians. Well, did you see his tweet back on April 16th about the solution to AI unemployment?
No.
I bring this up so much. Hey, MAGA, Elon defenders, there's your phone number, 336-543-2101, 336-543-2101. We're waiting for you.
I know, like, he talked to Obama while you're pulling that up. He talked to Obama about AI, like, in 2014 or something like that, and the dangers of it and how we should be concerned and everything. And he went on to create an AI that identifies as Mecha Hitler.
Right.
Literally, like,
Right.
what happened? Was
Right.
he always really just a scumbag and it was all just very carefully managed?
Then he pretended to be a free speech absolutist and tried to, behind the scenes, get Reddit to stop letting people post the pictures of him Nazi saluting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this was him back on April 17th. Universal high income via checks issued by the federal government is the best way to deal with unemployment caused by AI. AI robotics will produce goods and services far in excess of the increase in the money supply, so there will not be inflation. He
Universal basic
literally
income.
advocated. But high income universal basic income can exist in a capitalist system if it's supplementary. So you could have Andrew Yang UBI. He said high income, which means that the money has to be also the money that's being produced by AI has to be going to the high income to cover it, which would mean the government, the people, would own the means of the production. That wouldn't exist in a private, but either way, you would either have to do that or massively tax in a way where it is in effect the same thing. The dude literally advocated for socialism/communism in a lot of ways, while the fact that he is right now deciding how many billions of dollars he's going to invest in the midterms to try to keep Republicans in office, because he keeps getting these special exceptions done at the SEC, like how he was able to just get his IPO only requiring a 5% instead of 10%. What is it called? Like public share. It's this whole, he is absolutely, for him, if he spends $2 billion on the midterms and the Republicans win, he will get several $100 billion more back. People talk about how he took Twitter and ran it into the ground. It was he might have hoped Twitter was successful, but he bought Twitter for how much was it? Like $45 billion? $45 billion, and then used it to get Donald Trump back in office and is now worth $1.2 trillion. He increased his net worth by several $100 billion because he can tell Donald Trump how to help him and how to stop interference and to stop all the investigations that might have slowed him down. He got his money's worth out of Twitter, even if Twitter itself seems not to be a successful company.
100%. Have you seen the shit? Oh my God. Have you seen the video of Tucker Carlson and Elon Musk talking where Elon Musk basically says, I am so fucked if Trump doesn't win the election. And that's wild, dude. That they're just like so open, like they know. So he doesn't want to go to prison. I think he has a warrant out for his arrest in Germany right now or something like that. I haven't looked closely.
I know there's some shit going on in France because of the child porn that Grok was creating.
Oh no, this is because he meddled in German elections. He attempted to influence their elections illegally, and he now, I believe, has a warrant.
So what he's doing is the same Trump shit. He's doing the Trump shit where it's like, and they're going to meddle in the election. They're going to try to steal the election. Thereby that if he loses, he can see, I told you they would steal it. I told you so, even though they didn't. He's basically saying he knows he has committed crimes. And as soon as somebody who could hold him responsible for the crimes comes along, he's going to say, see, I told you they were going to accuse me of crimes. I told you it was going to be bullshit. They were going to accuse me of crimes. I told you so.
Like a baby.
And so he then gets to get his people to be like, oh yeah, we're gonna go and protest for this guy who is keeping $1.2 trillion to himself. Even if you're a capitalist, most people who are like, no, I like capitalism with some regulation. You can't have monopolies. Well, one man has a monopoly on fucking money because there's only estimated to be like, what, $100 trillion in the whole world? Is it 100 trillion?
Yeah, I think it's 100 trillion in estimated wealth, but it's only like 8 trillion in physical cash, if I'm not mistaken, is somewhere in there.
Oh, wait, yeah. That I've been bringing that up a lot. People are like, and how are we going to pay for it? By deciding it's paid for. Well, we can't do that. We have to. Where do you think? This is the funniest thing when people call in. This is why they've stopped calling. Guys, where are you? Where are you ready to defend conservatism and MAGA? And where are you guys? Because we're talking about your failed policies and your failed politicians. Unfortunately, the worse Donald Trump does, the less they call in because there isn't a way to defend Donald Trump now. Donald Trump this week said he loves the inflation.
He's a fucking idiot, dude. Like, I cannot wait until he is out of office, honestly. And it is going to happen. I know it feels like it isn't, but I promise it is going to happen. The dude is like 103 years old at this point. Even if he wanted to run again in 28, it would not, he couldn't.
I was off by a bit, 470 trillion. So it's not 100, 470. So let's just round it up to 500 trillion. There are 8 billion people and one man holds 1.2. Let's round that down to 1 trillion. One man gets 1/500th. Do you know the difference between 8 billion and 500? That is an insane fucking amount to let one man have. And then
the difference between 500 and 8 billion is about 8 billion.
True. I mean, yeah.
It's the same as the difference between a million and a billion. The difference is about a billion. The difference between a billion and a trillion is about a trillion.
And people will look at that and be like, yeah, but there's still 499 trillion left, as though those are being split between the remaining 8 billion.
Yeah.
Nope. You then add into the top like 1,000 wealthy people and you've already got most of the wealth out of there. Most of those trillions of dollars. And none of these dollars actually exist. It is way less than, in America, way less than 10% of the money that is distributed in just America. We did the math the other day. I think it was like 6%. And in some estimates, depending on how you evaluate it, it can even be under 1%.
Right.
Way less than 10% of all of the dollars are represented by physical currency that exists somewhere. At some point, the government just says, add this number to when they say we're just going to print more money, they don't actually mean print. They just mean add. They just mean go into the computer and click plus 1 trillion.
Yeah.
And then start giving it to certain companies. That's what printing is now. We just accept, if my account says I have $1 million and I take that somewhere, and it has never said that for the record, and I take that somewhere and spend it, the person I'm spending it with has agreed, the government has agreed, we just agreed I have it. I don't actually have anything but the agreement of the people with this common myth of currency.
100%.
Oh, God, guys.
Wild, dude.
Nice.
I feel like we are worse off right now than we were under the Gilded Age. I mean, wealth inequality is worse now than it was then, if I'm not mistaken. And this only ever ends one way for the filthy rich. I'm not saying I want that to happen. I'm just saying that's what happens, especially when they flaunt it flagrantly, shove it in people's faces, and act like shitheads and treat the lower classes as badly as they do. This only ends one way. I don't want that. I want you to, live like everybody else. I'm just saying, this is not going to end well.
Here's what's funny, guys. We are now 36 minutes in, and no actual conservative MAGA person is calling in to defend conservatism. All we have is, as of a minute ago, Martain is calling back in to once again describe how he is anti-affirmative action, and I don't care. Martain is not a quality enough person to bring on the air to be like, people might think after 40 minutes, well, they're desperate enough for a call. Surely they would let Martain on. Affirmative action? Who the fuck is still debating? Affirmative action is effectively illegal in America.
It is.
Right? Like, yeah. DEI is illegal in America. Who the fuck gives a shit about affirmative action right now when inflation and costs are going up, when gas prices are going up, when we're in new wars, when Donald Trump is out there doing everything he said he wouldn't, and you, the viewer, are struggling more because Donald Trump is president? You would have still struggled because we were only taking capitalist options. And Martain still wants to say, I don't think black people should have a reserved position in a line for a job that historically oppressed and prevented black people from getting jobs there. I don't care. I don't give a fuck. If I'm just going to sit here and complain about how stupid the news is from this week instead of taking any calls, I will happily do it. In fact, here, Martain, you're on hold. If somebody super chats $80 specifically requesting that we take your affirmative action call, we will take it. But otherwise, I don't care. Affirmative action. That's the thing he would imagine, having so much conservative right-wing power in power right now across the world, across the free world, the democratic world, and you want to call in and debate affirmative action? I'll tell you what, if somebody donates $81 and says not Martain, we'll just drop Martain from the queue. So $80 if you want him, $81 if you want me to get rid of him. Yeah, 80's pretty cheap. He's not been on 100 times like Andrew by the time I started putting up.
Are you familiar with this dude?
Yeah. He's called in several times. He's a time waster, and he just makes the same dumb points. And he thinks AI is not coming for his job because it's a government-funded, like, civil service job.
Oh, don't tell me that.
Even though not only will AI make it that less people are necessary to do those jobs, but also if AI takes away, he basically was like, oh, because a robot can't do my job, I'm safe. Nobody is safe, even in those scenarios. Robot can't take my job, so I'm safe. Owen and I, there are people who like listening to us because we are human. There will always be a value in us being actually human, broadcasting that to people. But that value won't always be dollars, because guess what? If a significant portion of you people listening go up in unemployment rates, I'm sure some of you are already unemployed now, and we still love you. If unemployment rates go up for you, the audience, then we're going to not have jobs either, because YouTube can't advertise to unemployed people. We make money because you watch ads. By the way, I should bring this up. The reason why we also don't take, I don't take sponsorships is we haven't had to. To compete, we need to increase revenues. So please go to patreon.com/calltheline. If you would like I literally turn down at least a dozen sponsorships a week right now. Because I don't want to take them. There are a few companies out there that provide a product that I would consider it with, because I think that product would actually be beneficial, or if I can frame it very specifically. Like Ground News wanted to do a sponsorship. I was like, can I tell them that I think you're terrible, but I think you're the least terrible?
Right.
And so it's that kind of shit. So if you want to help us remain sponsorship free, go to patreon.com/call the line, patreon.com.
I don't actually have a problem with sponsorships at all, but I do feel like a scumbag when I do one. So yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I also think that people value not having to skip past the sponsorship spots.
I sponsor myself, honestly. I do my own, like, I write a book and I talk about it, or my merch or whatever other thing.
I gotta be doing more side stuff. I'm always running this fucking series of channels.
Right.
I gotta start producing something regularly with my woodworking or some shit.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. I'll need some AI to automate some of the things though.
Right. Yeah.
Just kidding.
I did a whole bunch of work on my book. I spent like months and months on it. So yeah.
336-543-2101 if a person wants to defend an actual real fucking thing. An actual real fucking thing. By the way, Patreon starts at $3 for Discord only, $5 for some of the other benefits, $15 for LineCon. The podcast is going on hiatus for a week or two. I'll be putting that on Patreon. We will still put some exclusive Patreon content up during that. We are actually going to be the podcast is going to go through a major transformation and we'll start back up again probably around the beginning of July with that new transformation, new approach and everything else. So the Line is a podcast will return, but we'll still have exclusive content for the patrons in the meantime. 336-543-2101 MAGA, we're ready to debate you. MAGA can't debate is what it comes down to. Let's make that. True. I'm switching it. Dude, that guy who in the muscle shirts, Professor Mike, just posted a leftist can't debate on his post on Threads. This is the guy who the day of our debate over a month and a half ago, Dave was like, oh, sorry, I didn't realize something else was happening today, so I'm going to have to reschedule. And it's been over a month and a half. I've reminded him at least once a week. When's that reschedule? He just now he just resorts to calling me the F slur.
Oh, of course.
And pretends like, I will let you know when I'm not busy. The guy has literally ran away from our debate. That is conceding the debate. Let's be so absolutely honest.
What an idiot, dude. Yeah, I don't know this dude. Is he on the TikTok or the YouTubes?
Right. Oh, I know he's a TikToker because one of his things is he complains that he doesn't have time, but then he goes, and if he wants to debate me so bad, I go live almost every day debating on TikTok. So apparently he has time every single day and yet won't tell me when those times are. Right. That dude is a fucking coward and a baby. Anyway, 336-543-2101 MAGA, we're ready for you. We're ready to debate.
What are you scared, MAGA? Sounds like you're scared.
They all like the ones that will call often will wait until the last hour and then we're trying to like jam them all in together. Patreon.com/calltheline. Phone number is 336-543-2101, 336-543-2101. I have no interest in Martain unless somebody pays to bring on Martain. Martain is still on hold. $80 if you guys want me to pick up Martain. $81 if you want me to drop him. Somebody send those super chats. Whoever gets first. If 81 comes in for 80, we drop. If 80 comes in for 81, we pick up. We've got someone says, oh, I thought you were saying somebody in chat said their mom was calling. I thought they meant calling us. I was so excited. I was like, oh, fucking guys, go get us your moms.
Go wreck some MAGA moms.
Yeah. Go get us your fucking moms. By the way, Martain, when we did start talking and I started talking about what the solutions for AI is going to be, he literally tried to just pull some as soon as they start going like, oh, you could do something with this and that, they always are like leftist solutions. They're essentially UBI. They're essentially welfare. There's those types of things. And it's like, no. You're right wing. You don't get to pull from us. You're saying conservatism is the best way forward. If you need leftist solutions, we needed to start those leftist solutions a fucking 100 years ago. So you don't got to say, we'll wait another 10 years and then start doing. By the way, $81 from Idle Bits, who said Martain is so boring. So we are dropping Martain. Thank you, Idle Bits.
Damn.
Fuck you, Martain.
So
he's so boring.
I don't foresee a socialist solution playing out for AI in time, but is there
not without a revolution?
Right. And I just don't know that that's going to happen anytime soon because people are comfortable.
I mean, the hope is right now we're getting to see how leftist solutions are more literally like fucking Zohran Mamdani. They keep talking about how terrible New York is, except for when you look at anything.
Yeah.
Zohran is fucking killing it by putting in the mildest movement to the left. Literally like so mild movement to the left.
What do you think we should do that we might actually be able to get done within this political system that we're in? I mean, is there a
We need
solution
dramatic.
to?
I mean, short term, we need dramatic radicalization between here and the 2028 election, thus that we get somebody who is at least AOC level. I am going to continue to advocate for communication, democracy, and voting-based solutions, because that is my position. Right. 36 years old, I'm chronically ill. There's not a lot of ways I can contribute otherwise. Doesn't mean there's not a lot of other ways I would try to. But this is my position. This is where I am. And until those things are impossible, it's also the correct place for me to be advocating. It's the correct thing for me to be supporting and going for.
So say you were the president, and you had the ability to push a policy, but you had to do it in such a way that you could get Congress or most of Congress to support it.
Then nothing. That's the whole point. Is like between now and 2028, starting with a strong showing in this year's midterms, there has to be we have to have a strong leftist representation presence, as strong as we can. It's still not going to be very strong this midterm. Right. And then by 2028, it's going to take a lot of probably pain and suffering between now and then is the only thing that people are going to react to, but it's already begun. We will need a big shift to the left where we could, because guys, remember, we already almost got Bernie. Right. We got that close to Bernie. So it's not as though we're already out of it's possible for us to get somebody like that. But then when it comes to, we would need somebody who is quite like Trump, but on the left, not as a dick, not as a piece of shit, not as a pedophile, but as I'm just going to keep saying do it. And anytime the Supreme Court comes in and says, no, you can't, I'll just adjust and find another way. And I'm going to keep just fucking forcing these things through. But instead of it being deregulating industries and being fucking crypto schemes like you get out of the Trump administration, it needs to be like forcing UBI, forcing expansions of social programs, massive regulations on AI. And it would need to be, very much we're going to give you these solutions, whether you want them or not, essentially.
So say you were the president and you didn't have to get them to agree fully. What would the solution be? No. Like, you're just passing an executive order to try to push things forward, and you're going to find cracks in the system. I mean, that's what Trump does. Writes executive orders, finds cracks in the system, and
right
stuff
now
like
he's
that,
also using Mitch McConnell, despite being I'm tired of this president. Mitch McConnell is who empowered Donald Trump.
Did you say Bitch McConnell?
Bitch McConnell, indeed.
Okay.
By the massive expansions of the very conservative, radical conservative judiciary. And so you have all these federal judges across the country where states are passing these radically terrible laws and they're upkeeping them, and then they have a Supreme Court behind it. So we would need enough to eliminate the filibuster and radically morph the Supreme Court, expand it by a bunch of seats, fuck off with the whole, oh, it's got to be equal. If for every Democrat, you need one Republican. You're both right-wing. So actually, since you have 9 right-wing justices right now, not one leftist among them, you have liberals and even somewhat progressive. So you could say a couple of them are moderates. We got to balance it with 9 fucking leftists down to their balls. Mm-hmm. We're going lefty. It would have to be a radical transformation just to cover what already has happened and will have happened in those couple of years. And then as far as anticipating for the future, immediate implementation of, you'd probably say day 1 public option, within a year actually eliminating the healthcare industry and having full universal healthcare in America. There 100%. Cannot be a private option anymore where it's like a competitor, because you see how that's been going in Europe, where they're like, you have universal healthcare, and now we have these people who are aggregating money and using that to buy politicians and chip away at like the NHS, thus that more and more people are pushed to go private. The private industry the NHS is still better than us. In every way, the NHS is still a very far superior healthcare system. What they do have is getting chipped away by the private medical industry in the UK as well.
Absolutely. It's just such a mess, dude. Yeah, I would definitely do that too. I'll tell you what I would do on day one is pack the Supreme Court. There is a legal argument for adding new justices. I don't know if you've heard this, but back in the day when they started, everything, they locked the number of Supreme Court justices to the number of federal districts that there were. And at some point, that just kind of got thrown out. Well,
Right.
there are 13 federal districts right now, I believe. There's a strong
Sure.
argument to just add more people to the bench.
And then sometimes you just do it because you can. Like I said,
Yeah.
literally
Absolutely.
Donald Trump has been trying to push authoritarian fascism down our throat. So if your literally alternative was, I'm going to push democracy down your throat, I'm going to push it down in such a way that now people like him can't come in and centralize power. That I've given you these people, but I've also implemented terms on these people. I've also made them perhaps elected judges. I've also put term limits on people in Congress. I've also made lobbying fucking illegal. I've overturned Citizens United. Like, legitimately, you would have to completely turn the shit upside down, and you would have to behave like Trump does, as in, no, I'm not going to let you fucking slow me down. I don't give a shit what you want. And you would have to turn, Hakeem Jeffries into your, like, either fall in line and go and defend every fucking thing I'm doing in the House, or I will fucking take care of you myself. Mike Johnson, I don't know what Mike Johnson thinks will happen if he turns on Trump, but whatever it is, give the same threat to Hakeem Jeffries.
He's going to release his Covenant Eyes history
There
onto
we go.
the
Yeah,
internet.
yeah.
That's what he's going to do. But I totally
Yeah.
agree with you, 100%. And historically, in denazification procedures, not just in Germany, but like, elsewhere, after the Soviet Union fell, there were a lot of dictatorships that rose up and then fell again. In these types of situations, that's exactly what happens. The people who are oppressed by the authoritarians they start truth commissions to get to the bottom of every corrupt deal that took place, and they name and shame the informants, and they put the
Yeah.
arch criminals in prison and the whole nine. So
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. The way they would call what I would do weaponizing the Justice Department, guarantee you Trump's whole family's behind bars. I don't care
Oh,
where in the world
absolutely.
they try to go and fucking hide.
absolutely.
I would be running on it. People need to be running on.
SEAL
There
Team
was one
6
guy who
going in
went
there.
too far. Did you see the one guy who was like, I'm running to blank? I don't think we're allowed to say it, Donald Trump. And then he was like, let me be clear. I'm running to try him for treason.
Got it.
For which the prescribed penalty is, yeah. There was that. I would be tactful
Yeah.
in my communication. They need to be running on taking these
Absolutely.
people out. Literally running on, we are going to try these fuckers, and they will be put before a jury of their peers. But everyone and their fucking mom knows, even conservative non-believer in the chat pretending he doesn't, knows Donald Trump and his family have enriched themselves with the presidency. Know they have dramatically violated the Emoluments Clause. Know that this whole fucking crypto scheme they're doing behind the scenes is absolute fucking bullshit. And they know that besides that, they've also broken laws about releasing the Epstein files and all kinds of shit. The dude's going to prison. You know he's been committing voter fraud, or at least attempting to. You know he's been fucking... And even the way he's trying to undermine the elections by calling out a bunch of fraud and shit. I did see that California is making it illegal to basically do it at the level that to spread misinformation and lies about... to try and incite a mob, essentially,
Really?
I think is the way it is.
Interesting.
If you try to use demonstrable lies about the election to try and incite a mob, they're making that, they're trying to make that illegal in California.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that one of the other things I'd do is I would build in a mechanism to cancel pardons. Like, the president should not be able to pardon himself or literally anybody else with absolutely no recourse. Maybe he needs congressional approval to get pardons pushed through. I don't know. But we need a mechanism to erase pardons, because Roger Stone being pardoned, the
Yeah.
January 6th people being pardoned, unacceptable. I don't even care.
Pardons are just like money. They're only enforced because we all agree they are.
Yeah.
We can just disagree.
Yeah, and I truly believe that what happens after Trump is really, really radical. I genuinely believe that we're going to see
might happen before.
Completely flip.
Too many people are losing their fucking shirts because this guy. Anyway, we should start taking these calls.
Right.
We're going to talk to Ty in Indiana. Ty in Indiana, you are on the line with Jimmy and Javon. How are you, Ty?
Who?
Sorry, Jimmy and Owen. I do the show every week with Javon. Jimmy and Owen.
Okay.
How are you, Ty? What are you calling in on?
How you doing? This is my first time tuning into your show. I just wanted to ask a quick question before we get into it. Are both the gentlemen that I'm seeing on the screen, the top and the bottom, are both of you guys Democrats or Democrat supporters?
I'm not. I don't think you are either.
No,
neither of us are Democrats.
I am registered Democrat because that's how I vote.
Right.
But no, I'm not a Democrat.
I vote in the Democratic primaries. I'm not a Democrat.
Okay. Do you guys support Are you guys arguing points on behalf of Democrats or
no? The Democrats are
first time tuning in.
Democrats versus Republicans in America. If those are your true two choices, the Democrats are preferable. That does not mean they are good.
By a wide margin. They're preferable by a wide margin.
Yes,
holy shit. It's not even close, basically.
Correct.
But they're not where I want them to be.
If I have to pick between one of the two teams, it's not particularly difficult.
Okay. All right. That's fair enough. Well, the reason for my call is I wanted to talk about the Democrats failing to deliver reparations for Black Americans.
They never will. Democrats are never going to deliver reparations. Reparations come in a lot of different forms. The socialist theories on reparations essentially is deliver equality, deliver equitability, make up, if there's still a capitalist framework, do whatever you have to do to bring them up to the level of their oppressors, and to undo the harms of before. But Democrats aren't interested in reparations, so Democrats are never actually going to do it. So why are we arguing about that?
That's where I was on it also. And
are you
I'm
anti or pro reparations?
I'm actually pro reparations.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Are you a socialist?
I'm an independent. I'm an independent voter. I voted in the past. I voted Democrat, and in the past, I've also voted Republican.
But which economic policy do you think is superior? You can politically find independent is technically what the two of us are, though I use the term leftist. What economic system do you prefer, socialism or capitalism?
Well, I mean, I didn't really want to get into the particulars of that. I mean, if you want to,
it's important
we can,
to the question you're trying to bring up.
Well, I guess my thing is like I'm leaning more to the right these days because I feel that I've been pushed away from the left.
How have you been pushed from the left?
It's going to be super dumb identity politics bullshit.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just going to be dumb is what it's going to be. Go ahead. Right. How were you pushed to the right from the left, and when was the left ever an option? Because you, I think, are calling the Democrats the left and saying they pushed you to vote for a person who has ruined our economy, who has reversed our recovery, because we were going through a recovery from COVID and from the wars, who has capitulated to our enemies, and who has sold out our country to Israel. So please tell me in what ways the Democrats pushed you to Donald Trump.
Okay. As far as our country being sold out to Israel, that was long before Trump. We've been sold out to Israel. We didn't just start sending Israel $5 billion a year under Trump. That's been happening.
Okay,
yes, that's fair. Who sold out more, Biden or Trump?
Yeah, do
Who
you think
gave
Trump
carte
did not
blanche?
contribute at all to this problem? Is that what you're saying?
Not even not
I'm
contribute.
not
Do you
saying
think he
I'm not
didn't
saying
give
that
carte
at all.
blanche?
I'm not. No, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that we cannot totally put this on Trump when this
I
has been
didn't
going
totally
on
put it on
before
Trump, but there was with Trump they got a blank check. There was actual limits, and it is conceivable that we have passed those limits had a Democrat gone on. So legitimately, Biden was horrible on Israel. Harris was also horrible, probably less horrible, and definitely influenceable on Israel. Donald Trump isn't. Carte blanche from the onset. The only reason he's getting mad at them right now is the midterms are coming up and his own people are turning on him.
Yes.
And
now,
even then, he's just
how
getting
do you
mad at only Netanyahu.
Okay, how did you feel that Obama did with Israel?
Terrible. Obama's
So
a war
you see
criminal.
what I'm saying? This isn't, you know.
No,
so
I don't
it's
see what I'm saying,
almost
because
like,
I asked how the Democrats are pushing you to the right, and so far your answer is
Okay.
on Israel they were less bad than the right on specifically the topic of Israel. They were bad, but not as bad as the right, not as bad as Trump, and that pushed you. Or are you just not engaging the question? How did the Democrats push you to Donald Trump?
Hey, it's not a problem. I'll get right into that. I thought that we also were speaking on Israel because you threw a shot in there. That's why I went on that. How they personally pushed me away from the party is by not by not delivering on certain things that I believe they should be delivering on, considering that they receive a large amount of the. Hold on. Reparations. That's one.
Oh my God, dude!
The Democratic platform has never promised reparations.
I can't tell you. I can't tell you if I can't get
but
my
Ty,
statement
we're
out, sir.
wasting time if you are defending a thing that isn't true. The Democratic platform has never included reparations. They have offered, individuals have stated reparations, but never did the Democratic platform promise, if you elect us, if you want to go with actual promises made that weren't kept by Biden, you need to go with student loan forgiveness. You need to go with a public option. But reparations were never promised as part of the Democratic platform, period.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then I would ask a lot of the black voters that are voting Democrat to hold your vote, because they've done different things for the marginalized communities, but they continue to
Who has done more?
Do what they want. Go ahead, sir.
Who has done more? The right, the Republicans, or the Democrats for marginalized communities, including the black community?
Just dead silence. You don't have an answer to this? You really don't know which one's done more?
The silence is a representation of the fact that I keep getting cut off. I'm not allowed to make my point. And if I can't make my point, then okay. So
I literally was helping you to make an actual good point, because you're just saying literally Fox News cliches.
Okay.
So you need to get into specifics.
All right. So, okay. Well, have you saying who's done more for the black community, Republicans or Democrats? Correct? Or
oppressed communities at large, if you like, marginalized communities at large. Either way you want to approach it, since you've made it a one-issue thing that you think black people shouldn't vote for Democrats specifically because reparations, which weren't promised by Democrats, weren't delivered.
Yes, especially when they get so much of the black vote. Absolutely, I believe that.
And so I'm asking you what the specifics are. Are there any other things that they could be voting for?
I believe if they cannot hear what the black community's been asking for, and if they're not going to consider what the black community has been asking for, I think we should look at other avenues.
Okay, that wasn't the question.
Dude,
you got gummy bears in your ears? The question was, which does more, for marginalized communities? The Republicans or the Democrats? Which one?
Literally, you're like, hey man, the Democrats who never promised reparations, though some Democrats are pro-reparations, haven't promised them, haven't delivered us those things that aren't promised. So now we should consider the group of people who are saying, hey, we never promised it and we aren't going to deliver it and we're probably going to stab you. Let's go to that party. Let's go to the people who literally just reduced black voter power in multiple states in this country by removing the restrictions that prevent racist lines from being drawn. And as soon as those restrictions were lifted, those racist lines were put back into place. And now multiple people of color in Congress are losing their seats because they are now, the districts are drawn in such a way to make sure there are less people of color in Congress because people of color disproportionately do vote Democrat.
Yeah, literally
anyway.
Okay, and we can
literally endorsed by the KKK. The Republicans are, but okay, continue.
Go for it.
Okay, and we can speak on the progressive agendas, or we can speak on Democratic agendas. You know,
we can speak on the question. What did Democrats do to push you to Republicans? And so far, your only answer has been failed to deliver a promise they never made, and totally devoid of the promises Republicans have made that have fucked black people over.
We've been screwed over by both sides. Make no mistake, we've been screwed over.
I agree. When we look back, and you will be again. But one side has screwed you over more.
If that's the answer, then why do we keep giving them our vote if we're going to be screwed by both sides?
Hey, when I was a kid, I had a brother who pushed me once, and I fell down. He felt bad. He picked me up, and he made sure I was okay, and genuinely felt remorse and tried to make things better. I had another brother who routinely beat the shit out of me. Now, technically, both of them hurt me. Why should I choose one over the other? Those are true stories, by the way. And yet, when we phrase it this way, it's not so confusing, is it? Ty, it's pretty clear that if one is serially abusive and one fails to meet a standard, but at least tries, one of them is worse and one of them is better.
Because you're saying that they haven't even tried, that they don't promise it and they're not trying.
Trying does not equal only reparations. Unless you have a very broad definition of reparations. Okay. What's your definition of reparations?
My definition of reparations would be financially repairing damage that has been done from generations of slaves that were never given compensation for their work. So when you look at a lot,
hang on, I'm asking you a clarifying question.
When you look at a lot of the, oh my God,
I'm gonna ask you a clarifying question.
Okay, because I've got receipts.
If a party commits to and passes laws, some places successfully. Excuse me, I wasn't done. If a party,
neither was I, but go ahead.
And if a party commits to funding and sometimes succeeds, sometimes failed because of local right-wing opposition, but commits to funding local education and housing efforts in primarily black areas, primarily black neighborhoods, to improve the quality of the education there and to improve the quality of housing, especially for low-income people, do you consider that reparations?
Absolutely not. I consider that to be LBJ. I consider that to be LBJ when he stated.
So then you don't think trying to use money to reverse the oppression of black people is reparations? You said you did, and you just lied.
When LBJ stated as a Democrat, he said, hey, the plan is to give them just a little bit, not enough to change anything in their life, but to give them a little bit to get them out of the streets from marching. As long as we continue to string them along and give them
because LBJ said that
we'll have them voting. We will have them voting Democrat for the next 100 years.
And because LBJ said that once prior to the civil rights movement, because LBJ said that once years ago, that must be what the modern progressives. That must be what the modern progressives are currently actually trying to push, despite the fact that many of the modern progressives come from lower income homes and the diversity representation is much higher. But you're right, because one white guy 75 years ago said that must be what the diverse coalitions today are trying to pose. This is absurdly stupid, Ty.
Talk about
so
James
now
Davis.
I'm going to need to still hear.
We can talk about John Patterson, James Davis, Bull Connor, James Eastland. These were all Democrats. And during the day of the Freedom Riders, James Eastland had the Freedom Riders arrested when they came to Missouri. Bull Connor, the commissioner
what year
of
is
public
this again?
safety of Birmingham.
What year are we talking about?
We're talking about after what you guys like to talk about as the Great Switch. We're talking after that.
Okay, what year?
Like,
can you give me a fucking year?
No, he can't, because again, this is just Ty. Has.
I got some years.
No,
hold on,
you don't got. You don't got.
Let me give you years.
That beep is you being muted. Ty just has Fox News, Jesse Waters, Matt Walsh level. Here's the anti-Democrat stuff I'm going to say, and I'm just going to list these things that I think make them look bad by going with individual people who were undeniably a problem, who were undeniably racist, and say that represents the policies. And legitimately complaining about LBJ said, give them a little. And you know what Republicans have said? Take from them. Take from them. Deny them welfare, take more in taxes, have them continue to pay higher effective tax rates than billionaires. And you want to sit there and say this represents the modern movement by going through people whose own, a Democrat from fucking Florida is different from a Democrat from California. And yet you want us to go with, because this Democrat that existed in the 80s, great, I'll just play the same thing. You got pushed to Donald Trump, who was endorsed by David Duke. Therefore, by association, you support the Klan, right? This beep is you being unmuted.
Okay.
Did you hear all that?
If we're going to argue the way you're arguing, you support the Klan, correct? Because David Duke endorsed Trump. And if we're going to do a guilty by association by individual historical examples, my historical example is at least recent. So if we're guilty by associating, you're a Klansman, correct, Ty?
Not at all.
Well, then why are you trying to push your bullshit guilty by association on people who have nothing to do with James Davis or John Patterson?
Or Bull Connor, or
make the list longer.
Or James Eastland. Like,
sure.
These are all people that. These are all Democrats.
Or
sir.
Richard Spencer. You're a Richard Spencer. So you're a Richard Spencer guy, right? Back in his super Nazi days. What's that Cantwell's first name? Cole Cantwell? Is that what his name was? Cantwell? You're all about that guy, right?
When you
I assume. Are you buying a shit ton of tiki torches right now? Are you buying a shit ton of tiki torches right now to support Cantwell? Because that guy endorsed Trump.
It doesn't mean you're winning the debate because you speak over someone.
I don't care about winning a debate.
This is how Trump debated Kamala. He kept cutting her off.
Well, you apparently fell for it. So I guess I'm just using a little bit of that medicine to pull you to my side, because you think that Trump was superior to Kamala. Do you not?
What I had to go off of was
no, even with what you had to go off of.
I got 3 words out. I got 3 words. I said what I got to go off of, maybe 5 words, and then I'm cut off. Do you guys want to hear what I had to go off of, or no?
I don't really care that much, Ty. You've already shown yourself to be an ignoramus, resorting to guilt by association while ignoring the fact that the Republican Party is currently associated with actual Nazis.
We can talk about the progressive movement and Margaret Sanger. And
we can keep committing logical fallacies all day long. Which other logical fallacies would you like to invoke?
This is all people off of the left that you claim have done things for marginalized communities, but you will not talk about the negative
you haven't named a single
that
leftist. Name a socialist if you want to say leftist, buddy. You don't even know what the left is.
Look,
and again, we're committing fucking logical fallacies here. We can talk about this logical fallacy. Next, after this, I'm going to argument ad populum. And then after that, I'm going to go with the genetic fallacy, which actually you've already been committing genetic fallacy a bunch of times so far. And then after that, I'm going to go with, like, legitimately, how many fallacies are we going to hit here before we actually have a logical discussion about the policies that have been, the policies that will be, and the policies that should be?
And I wanted to know if you supported Trump over Kamala, and you had to think about it. That is such a straightforward decision to make, Trump or Kamala. It couldn't possibly be more obvious which one is better.
Let me tell you how that happened. I came home from work one night and I sat. Now I was pro Kamala. I was always saying, "Hey, President Harris, President Harris." I work with at work. I work with a lot of Republicans and a lot of MAGA, and I was debating on you guys' side for, hey, we need President Harris, President Harris.
You probably did a lot of damage then for us, since you only argue with fallacies.
No, understand, after I get off the phone with you guys, I'm going to call a Republican show and I'm going to give it to them too. I'm an independent.
Okay.
So,
and you'll commit fallacies there also. You've only debated with fallacies so far.
Okay.
Yep.
So I
Continue.
came home and I sat down and it hit me like a ton of bricks. I said, wait a minute. I'm advocating for this person who is the leader of this party. And I look back and I'm like, wait, they haven't done anything for us. They haven't done anything. And as you just said, they're not planning on doing anything. Now, the things that you bring up that they have done.
That's literally not what I just said. In fact, I can start naming off. Once again, you have lied again, because first you defined what reparations was. First, you defined what reparations was. I gave you an example of something that would count as reparations in your framework, and you said, no, I wouldn't count that as reparations, and brought up this LBJ bullshit. So not only were they committed to doing stuff, the Republicans were committed to doing stuff to further harm the black community, like what they have just done. So, Ty, very simple question, yes or no. Do black people have less power in future elections now because Donald Trump became president?
Both sides have done gerrymandering.
Oh.
That was not your question. That was not your question. Do black people have less power? Doesn't matter. And yet your question still is, do black people have less voting power?
Also, do
black people have less voting power than they did because Donald Trump is president?
Sure.
They do.
Now, which party has attempted...
No.
Here's your next question. Which party attempted to abolish gerrymandering and which party blocked it in Congress?
Okay. I mean...
Which one?
This is so one-sided. Because
which party tried to abolish... Which party tried to abolish gerrymandering and which party blocked it?
What do you consider the reparations that they have given black people? That you
Which
said
party tried to abolish
gerrymandering?
I don't think we've adequately extended reparations. That's why I'm advocating for leftist progressivism, where reparations would come at minimum at the level of delivering equitability. So now that's the answer to your question. Now answer mine. Which party tried to abolish gerrymandering and which one tried to block it?
As a black voter, we're tired of people telling us what they think we need and not listening to us.
I'm not allowed to espouse a political opinion. I can't have a political opinion. Is that illegal now?
And that wasn't a shot at you.
You know what that makes me think of, Ty? Ty, do you know what that makes me think of?
Go ahead.
Which party tried to abolish gerrymandering and which one tried to block it?
Okay. You know what that makes me think of?
Oh my God.
The fact that black people are still not getting what they're voting for from the Republican Party or from the Democratic Party.
And which party tried to abolish gerrymandering and which one tried to block it?
What have they done? What have black people asked for that they continue to tell us, no, we can't do this? When they come up with excuse after excuse of why it cannot be done.
Right. And that's interesting. Counterpoint. which party tried to abolish gerrymandering and which one tried to block it?
The lady that screens your calls, I told her what the topic was going to be.
That's
so
cool.
you
That's
knew
cool.
what
That's
the
cool.
topic was gonna be.
That's cool. That's my girlfriend too. We have great communication. Which party tried to abolish gerrymandering and which one tried to block it? Mm-hmm. And which party? You said they both gerrymander, so I just want to make sure we're establishing something. Which party tried to abolish gerrymandering, not just once, consistently over the last at least decade, probably longer, with several federal bills? Which party tried to abolish gerrymandering and which party has consistently blocked it?
Before this last gerrymandering thing,
oh my God,
when was the last time that gerrymandering was done? Explain
We'll talk about that in a minute. Which party tried to...
Let's talk about it now. That was under Biden. Let's talk about it now.
Hang on. You don't get to ask questions and ignore mine. Which party tries to abolish...
You've been ignoring me the whole call, man.
Actually, I've responded to multiple of your questions. Great. So do tell me, which party tried to abolish gerrymandering and which ones is consistently tried to block it?
Hey, sir, I see we're not getting anywhere. Hey, you gentlemen have a great day.
Bye, Ty.
Dude refused to answer a very simple question. Asked how many times? 15?
Yeah.
Holy shit, bro.
I ask you, watching, even if you are MAGA, what would be a person's motivation to not answer that question? It's legitimately, I am a fucking socialist. I don't think Democrats are good for black people. But that doesn't mean I think Republicans are better for black people. I think Democrats want to be seen doing the right thing, so they will occasionally do the right thing the least amount they can and then get credit for it.
Or just claim the credit from Democrats.
Will stab you. Like this is... I like the medical metaphor. You have an injury. You're bleeding out. You go to a Democrat and they want to put Band-Aids on it and then turn around and wait for their claps. Guys, I put Band-Aids on it. It's a gushing wound. It needs stitches. It needs glue. It needs whatever. But I did something and I used only Pride bandages. Those bandages have rainbows on them. So I'm also queer accepting. My applause, my plaque, my platter. That's some performative bullshit. And it's better than nothing, but it's what Democrats do. It's just better than nothing, and please give me my reward. Republicans see that wound and they go, well, have we tried putting bootstraps near it? Well, we can't give him the bootstraps. Has he tried tying up the cut with his own bootstraps? All right, in that case, what if we just stab the wound?
Or they'll take credit for what Democrats do. Republicans will. And Democrats,
what if we bleed it out?
They produce people who are genuinely good a lot of the time. The Democrats do. I don't think the establishment is good. Like the Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, they suck.
Pieces of shit.
The leaders of the parties, they're absolutely awful and worthless. But you get really good people
sometimes
from Democrat. Yeah, from the Democrat. Like AOC is a Democrat.
Then a lobbyist comes in and she's right. She's registered as a Democrat. AOC, I would say, is a moderate on the world scale, slightly left of moderate, a democratic socialist, probably, maybe more sock dem than dem sock. But
you don't get that on the Republican side. You don't get good people coming out. Even Thomas Massey is a complete piece of shit.
Dude, Thomas Massey, literally, have you seen his Christmas cards that he sends out?
Yes, the guns,
fucking
right?
Insane. Yeah, they're fucking insane.
You know, and when yet he started
we're going like, imagine being on living in a world where somebody that fucking radically right becomes a good guy to you because you weren't expecting a Republican to stand against pedophilia.
Right. He started doing that originally because a school shooting happened around Christmas time, and he wanted to show his support for the Second Amendment in light of this attack. So he started
the good guy
sending it
with
around.
a gun.
He had his children go on there with the guns and the whole 9 yards after an attack. Like, what is wrong with this dude?
Kate in chat says AOC's an idiot. AOC would wreck you in debate, and so would we. Call in 336-543-2101. Kate, you should not be calling people who are more capable, more intelligent, and more accomplished than you an idiot. Be so real. be so real. Also, it's funny, it's one of the funniest things I see is there are people who will talk about how dumb AOC is, and then they will share a quote that she never said. And so they think she's stupid because threads in Facebook are covered with memes of AOC's face with a quote of that she never said, literally made up quotes. And they'll be like, oh my God, she's so stupid. One of them is like, AOC is quoted as saying, we can't vote if we can't pass voter ID, then only legal citizens would vote. And then all the comments, thousands of people in the comments being like, oh my God, she's so dumb. That's the point. AOC would not be right in the UK. She would be moderate to potentially slightly left. I agree that she is not a leftist. She's certainly not a full-on socialist. She's somewhere in the range of Soc Dem to Dem Soc. She's somewhere in that that range. She's pretty much where Bernie is.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm glad we have a younger Bernie. I would love to see her run, but Fox News has, been laying into her already.
I mean, Hillary Clinton, nobody's been targeted like she was by Fox News since the 90s, and she still won the popular vote.
It's true.
So the thing is that the DNC, which is a fucking disgusting criminal organization in and of itself, is probably not going to take a chance on a woman of color this time.
Absolutely agree. I'm going to run to the bathroom real fast. Be back in 30 seconds, okay?
Yeah, we'll wait until you get back to take the next one. Yeah, guys, man. I don't know what you do when you have a person like that. Maybe I should have said, like, if we're going to start using as the armor, like, I'm a black man, therefore I'm talking for those black voters who are still, by the way, mostly choosing not to vote for the Republicans. In fact, the biggest group of people who did in the black community, yes, black men moved over to Trump more. Black women did not for this last election. And unfortunately, it's because black men largely have the same problem that white men have and that men across America have, and that is patriarchy and misogyny. That at the end of the day, you would have seen a reduction if a black woman is Kamala Harris or somebody else was going to see that reduction, with very, very few exceptions, because unfortunately, wherever there are men in America right now, there are more misogynists than not. And even then, they still didn't majority break. I don't think he got the majority of black men. He just got a higher amount than Biden got when he went against Kamala Harris. It's just wildly, wildly sad. Hey, Luthien, can you make sure that the live chat is refreshing over there? Because I feel like on my end, I'm stuck at 525. You might have to hit refresh on that tabs browser.
Backsies.
Are you still showing?
Me? Am I showing one?
No, sorry, Luthien.
I just refreshed it. Also,
okay, yeah, it's all coming through now.
My add caller button just disappeared, so I just did it manually on Call-In Studio.
All right. That's weird.
I clicked it to minimize it, and now I can't get it back. It's gone.
It's all good.
Okay.
We see them in there. Okay. That person calling in has called in before and is not remotely impressive with any of their positions.
Who, the dude we just talked to, or?
No.
Another person. Got it.
Newest addition to the thing. Let's see.
That dude was all about pivots. He refused to actually answer a question and then complained about...
I can list people that were problematic Democrats. Therefore, the Republicans are better. My guy. Let's just go down Donald Trump's endorsement lists. Are you kidding me?
And then he complained nonstop about being cut off. Like, what a crybaby. I get so sick of that shit, dude.
Yep. Somebody wrote, the country is going broke subsidizing black people. No, the country is going broke subsidizing billionaires.
And
literally now
now.
trillionaires. You fucking idiot. Elon Musk got hundreds of billions of public dollars, your taxpayer dollars. Where is your share in returns of his $1.2 trillion fortune? Just waiting.
Yeah.
Just waiting for that answer. Just waiting for that answer, guys. Jeff, I don't think you want to start going in on AOC. Do you remember we were going to start thinking before we look stupid?
Yeah.
We were going to start thinking before we start saying dumb shit. Get the fuck out, Jeff. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Amza in Virginia. Amza, you are on the line with Jimmy and Owen. Hello, Amza. I'm going to need you to fix your audio. You already sound like you're in a wind tunnel.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello?
Hello.
Hamza.
Hamza. How do you spell it?
Yeah. Hamza.
Okay. Hamza. What are you calling in on?
I was wanting to talk about Israel Palestine and like which side do you support?
I support the liberation of Palestine and their right to self-determination and their right to have a state.
So like one state solution for Palestine, basically?
Probably.
It's more complicated than that for me, but basically, yes. I
don't think it's
pretty
plausible that we're going to get a one-state solution, but I think that's what would have been just in the first place.
Yeah.
So you don't think it's possible. So, okay. So why do you support the Palestinians? I'm leaning towards Israel right now.
Oh, dude, no, I'm not doing I'm going to try to convince you. You can bring positions that we disagree with to debate, but this isn't go and do your own education shit on the I'm not Jimmy GPT. We're not going to discuss this out.
Okay. All right. Well, I support Israel because I think at the start of the conflict,
when was the start of the conflict?
1948. All right.
Okay, so you're not talking October 8th, for example.
7th, yeah.
Yeah. October 7th. You mean when Hamas attacked the?
Yes, I'm making sure that that's not what you're referring to as the beginning of the conflict. No.
Yeah, I'm talking about at the very beginning that Jews were already there in Palestine, and they had the partition legally. I think after that, there have been multiple times throughout the history where there was peaceful propositions for the Palestinians to have their land and have Israelis their own country.
Right. So none of that is peaceful, because that still requires taking land and removing people from their land and sequestering land and saying, this thing that was your country, here's the peaceful way we get some of it.
Okay.
By the way, when you were describing that 1948 they had the partition, I don't think you're going to have a lot of people are going to question the legally dubious, and you said the completely legal partition. I would describe it as politically illegitimate and very legally dubious. But at the end of the day, right now, Hamza, I don't actually much care that you think you're coming down on the side of Israel. Do you believe what Israel has been doing, even now while they're in a ceasefire with Gaza and yet are still continuing to fire on Gaza, has been reasonable?
I would say that no. That
okay. Do you believe the way they responded to October 7th has been reasonable?
Well, I think yeah, because I'm not sure because there were hostages taken, and from what I understand, they were only targeting military targets.
Okay, so if it's okay for an Israeli to hate and seek the destruction of Hamas at the cost of civilians, if I am a person in Gaza and I'm a young boy, my entire family's been killed, they weren't Hamas related. They were civilians. They might have been at a hospital. Their home was lost. Is that child justified in going, you know what? I hate the people who killed my people, and I'm going to go and kill them back?
Well, I mean, wait. Well, I don't know what the question was. Did you ask a question? I mean,
basically, yes, it was a question. Is that child justified in joining a resistance against the people killing them because their civilian families are being destroyed at a massive rate of like 100 or 200 to 1 or something crazy? For every one person, one Hamas, they're getting dozens to hundreds of civilians. And you're sitting there and going, well, yes, it was justified so because hostages were taken. So living
they
hostages.
Were targeting is,
how many hostages were there?
You're saying that taken by who?
From Hamas. How many hostages did Hamas take?
I mean, they've been returning in some of
originally.
them.
Originally, on October 7th, how many did they take?
I think there were. I don't know the exact number, but they were around like almost 200, like 220, something like that, I think.
How many dead civilians are there in Gaza since October 7th? You were close enough. It was like 250, by the way.
Okay, yes. Around, I think, like 250,000 as well.
Wait. As well? It was 250,000 hostages. Palestinian
250,000
deaths,
in terms of civilians deaths.
Palestinian civilian deaths. No, 75,000. I don't know where you're getting numbers, but about right now we've counted up to 75,000. It will be more once full tolls are done. So maybe you're trying to estimate ahead. I don't know. So how many civilians is it okay to murder, to kill per hostage? Because you were saying it is justified for these 250 people, and you thought it was 250 to 250,000 civilians. So to you, per one hostage, 1,000 civilian deaths would have been defensible and acceptable?
Well, no. I mean,
that was the numbers that you just gave and said that it was okay.
What I'm saying is, like, from what I've heard, is they're attacking areas where civilians are, but there are also combatants there. That's the argument that I've been hearing. And then,
so what about when they were attacking hospitals and schools and civilian areas that they had just told civilians to retreat to, where they drop the flyers and say, we're going to start bombing this area, go here to be safe, and then they bomb that area?
I think that is wrong, but
great. So what consequences should Israel see over it? Because so far there's zero.
I think America should pull out of it, but I do think I do admit that they're not innocent.
Yes,
they should pull out of like supporting them.
Absolutely, civilians are innocent.
No, not the civilians. I'm saying that the IDF and Israel is not innocent, but I think what Hamas is doing, like at the start of October 7th, they are the ones that went in there, right? There was like a peace thing. And like
there was
Hamas
not peace.
Also,
there was not peace. It was an open air concentration camp.
Right.
Gaza was before October 7th. That's why they went in. Not that it was right, not that it solved any problems, not that they should have done that. They shouldn't have. That was not a good solution, obviously. But it was not, there was no peace. We just didn't hear about it, or you didn't, or whatever. I was paying attention to it. It was ugly. It was horrifying what was happening in Gaza before October 7th.
Open air concentration camp.
I mean, they aren't allowed to leave on the Egypt side, the Israel side. They can't leave at all. The Palestinians in Gaza are not allowed to leave at all. And Israel was keeping their port closed, their water port, and regulating their electricity because their electrical grid goes through Israel. They'd randomly turn off their electrical grid and their water grid because they control those things.
Limiting trade.
It was all before October 7th. That's why the October 7th stuff happened, or part of the reason why. Another part was because of the Red Heifer Project. That's a different story, unrelated.
Okay, that sort of makes sense, but
once again, after saying we weren't going to do it, it's literally that you're like, I'm on this side, but here's the thing I didn't know, and here's the thing I didn't know, and here's the thing I didn't know. If you're going to call into a debate show to debate, it should be something you feel well equipped to debate. What state do you live in? Virginia. Who did you vote for in the last election?
I was too young to vote.
Okay, who are you planning to vote for in the midterms this year?
Democrat.
Oh.
Who are you planning to vote for in 2028?
Democrat, probably.
Why would you support Israel to any degree at all? Why would you even be on the fence about this?
Because I'm trying to learn more about it. I've just like started buying some books off of it. I'm trying to learn about it. But from what I hear is like...
Who are your senators?
I'm not... What's up?
Who are currently your senators?
In your state of Virginia?
I didn't vote on the senators, but
but who
I
are
think they just elected a new one. Like his name is like Tim Kaine or some shit. I don't.
Definitely not the new one.
Kaine.
Tim Kaine's been there a while. Tim Kaine's been there so long that Tim Kaine was in the Senate and then ran for vice president of the United States under Hillary Clinton and then still was back in there. I think you're thinking of the new guy. Wait, no, there's no new senator in...
Maybe he heard about the dude winning. Are you talking about the
new governor? You have a new governor as of last year. Do you know who she is? I just gave you a hint. Was she?
I don't actually know who it is.
It's a fun name. But you don't live in Virginia.
Yolanda. That's a fun name.
Rwanda?
You Googling?
Is that the name, Yolanda?
It's even better.
No, it's not.
It's Spanberger.
I don't know.
Abigail Spanberger.
Okay.
You don't have a new senator. Your senators have both been there for like 20 years each.
Didn't they have an election though? So
probably.
Mark Warner will be up for election in Virginia this year.
All right, man. I think whatever. You are also
Hazma,
like a...
The point I'm trying to make is you're calling into a debate show and you are politically out of your depth. We're not an education show. I hope you vote for the most progressive candidates this year.
In the Israel-Palestine, it's a really long conflict. I don't know much about that one, but...
and that's what you called in on. So what is a thing you think you are in your depth to debate with us on? Otherwise... we ought to move on. Luthien, you have a call to screen. I don't know if you saw.
You're a Democrat?
No.
We're not Democrats.
Wait, what?
We lean left. Or we are left.
I'm a socialist.
Yeah.
Okay, you're you support Hassan Piker and Wash and those types of guys?
I am a socialist like Hassan Piker and like Vosh. I would say I have a friendly enough relationship with Vosh, though we haven't spoken since I think the last election. But
same.
I imagine if I slipped into his DMs, he would say, "What's up, dude?" I don't know Hassan at all.
You don't like Hassan? Okay.
No, I said I don't know Hassan at all. I don't consume content creators. I am a content creator. Do you know how fucking weird it would be if I was spending all my day watching YouTube creators? That's for you guys to do.
I mean, doesn't Wash do that?
Does he?
I think he does reaction content is what you're describing too, but I don't think he's watching his allies. If he is, that must be a boring ass show. And since 30,000 people watch him when he goes live, I doubt that's what he's doing. I've met Vosh. We are friendly. I wouldn't describe myself as knowing him.
Why are you a Democrat over socialism? Why are you a socialist over like not over being a Democrat?
What is the alternative to socialism first?
Like conservative, like
No.
like conservative policy.
What about
if someone on the left is a socialist, what is somebody on the right?
What do you mean, like?
If somebody on the left is a socialist, what is a person on the right?
what's the equivalent on the right? Like the other side. What would the other end of socialism be on the right?
Yes.
Like capitalism? Like,
yes, because I'm not a capitalist.
Right.
That's why I'm a socialist. Democrats support capitalism. Capitalism has failed, and it cannot, not only has it not successfully handled the issues of our current century, the issues we are barreling towards right now, it has no mechanism to protect us from.
okay, so do you think, like, do you support, like, China? That's like a socialist type country.
China is state capitalism. They have more left-leaning policies, and they are becoming more left, but they are still state capitalist.
And they're
the
pretty
only
far
times
right,
I defend
actually.
the left parts of capitalism of China is when people call in and accuse them of or say something along the lines of like leftist policies don't work and socialism's never worked. Whenever you ask those people what they think China is, they always say socialist or communist. And then you get to engage with the fact that the reason they believe it is they have certain leftist policies. They are, if you are born today in China, you are probably guaranteed better in outcomes than if you are born today in America. But China is not well described as actually being socialist.
At best, you could say they're communist on paper officially, but yeah, they're not socialist at all, I don't believe.
Luthien, something's happened to the chat again, if you'll refresh it. And try and see if you can figure out what's been causing it.
You know, I think, well, I mean, like, do you think, so if you had the option, you would rather be born in China than like the U.S.?
No, because China is fundamentally authoritarian and we have a chance to not be. And China probably will be authoritarian for a while.
Yeah, definitely.
But didn't they go more to the right? They were like fully communist
and they're authoritarian
before.
No, they were definitely not. Authoritarianism is incompatible with communism.
Okay. I mean, in theory, yes.
What is communism?
Like, you know, workers have the, like,
you know,
not looking for their slogan.
Means of production.
Wow, that you tried to combine multiple slogans: "Workers of the world unite," and "The people own the means of production." Communism is a stateless, from each according to their ability, to each according to their need. Legitimately, China couldn't have been communist in any of the instances where they've been accused of communism because of the authoritarian nature of their government, as well as the fact that they had basically a working class that could be compared to like a peasant class. They did not get the representation. They did not get equality. It was not remotely communist.
Okay, so do you have like an example of where communist like ideology worked?
No.
Okay. What's your problem with like capitalism?
It also has never worked. And in fact, leftist countries and the reason why leftism has failed and the reason why capitalism has failed, socialism and capitalism have failed because of capitalist countries.
I mean, sure, like you're talking about probably like
By the way,
Red Scare.
it is fun that we
like,
both said socialism and you're trying to move the goalpost to specifically communism, which I do think is an inevitability, but I advocate currently for a transition state of socialism. Elements of socialism have been practiced and worked very well in many parts of the world,
like where?
Usually until a right-wing country comes along and decides to undermine it and force it into submission and ruin it as well. Meanwhile, in the future, There is no choice without socialism because mass unemployment is coming at the behest of billionaires because they are chasing profits. We already have massive income inequality. We have people in poverty, despite having so much money in this country, that having anybody in poverty is legitimately a choice, not just for the country, but for the world. Capitalism is an absolute failure, but what's more important is it has no future solutions for mass unemployment except for people to starve and die. Socialism does have. So I'm never impressed, even if a person legitimately believes leftism, socialism, communism's never been tried and successful, I'm never fucking impressed by that. Just like if a person was designing a combustion engine in a world with just horses, somebody might say, but combustion has never worked for travel. How are you going to use combustion? It'll blow up the horse. And until you actually put it within the framework of an engine, it won't make much sense. And by the way, just so you know, before the car was invented, every time they tried to add combustion to the horse, it killed the horse. Didn't mean combustion wasn't worth trying.
But do you think middle ground between capitalism and socialism won't be better?
No.
What middle ground? What could the middle ground be? Let me just tell you what socialism is.
And we're still doing the Q&A where we're just educating.
I know we are.
Instead.
I know we are. But just like,
all right, I'll leave you all to whatever you're doing.
Oh my God, Kate is fucking dumb. Right. Kate in chat, the one who said AOC was dumb, just wrote, so is Mamdani a socialist or communist? Because either way, he's failing our city. New York is doing better. New York City is doing better than it conceivably has done in how many decades? Literally, you're just sitting and going, yeah, but I'm seeing more brown people with smiles. Like, what is your fucking problem, you absolute idiot?
Look, we're taking another caller in a second, right? Or you can that finish person's gone? Okay. Look, this is what socialism is in effect, okay? It's basically exactly what we have now, except we have, instead of Mark Zuckerberg owning all of Facebook, we have the workers at Facebook controlling, the shares of the company, voting on their bosses, and their bosses vote on their bosses all the way up the chain, just like how a nonprofit company works. Identically, we just take the nonprofit structure and superimpose it onto private companies. That's it. That's socialism.
That would be our beginning state.
Yeah.
That too would run out of usefulness with automation, but
right.
So we would have to start transitioning to an even further left form of socialism and then eventually communism.
Right. But that's generally what people mean in the United States when they talk about socialism today. It means the workers are the ones who actually own the companies, not the filthy rich billionaires. They don't own the companies. They may start the company.
No for-profit incentive for suffering.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they may start the company, and they may even work at the company. They may be like the CEO of the company, even the guy who started it, but they don't own the company. They can guide the company, they can move it forward, so on and so forth, but
basically
it's owned by
socialism.
The people. Yes, it's owned by the people.
Luthien, I'm frozen again. Do you know what's freezing the chat? Have you figured it out? It just unfroze.
Yeah, I think it does it every single time I go to a different window screen. What's that called?
Oh, Kate Ortiz on the is the little blue button at the bottom to keep it live back again or no? Luthien.
Yeah, I should have just fixed it.
Yeah. Cool. Kate Ortiz with that's a fucking joke. Do you live in NYC or not? Well, not anymore. However,
I'm from New York City, from Manhattan, personally.
Literally committing an actual fallacy, for the record, because whether you live there or not, and then make it local to, like, Kate, just call in. Tell us what is bad about it, because if you are right, you won't have to just resort to anecdotal evidence. You'll have the data to back you. New York City is doing absolutely wonderful. So you result to calling people idiots and dumb. I do result to that. You're correct. Can you believe I resulted to that? Owen?
Yes, and I can believe that. Surprisingly, yes, and
You
yeah,
result to calling people idiots and dumb.
and I am from New York City, so yeah, that doesn't even work anyway.
Oh man, come on, and Kate, give us a call. I might be nice.
All right, you want to hit the next one?
Yeah. Hey, Barry. Oh, did the answer work? Barry in Massachusetts. Barry, you are on the line with Jimmy and Owen. Barry, how are you?
Good. How are you, Jimmy?
I'm okay. Hey, Barry, let me ask you, if you were doing a call-in show, just kind of like a hypothetical, and you knew right away that the beginning of the call was built on lies from a liar who lies, would you think like, well, how much benefit could there be to taking this call if I already know the show's beginning with a lie? Would it not, Barry, seem to be a sort of purposeful, just not very purposeful endeavor when we already know that it would go so badly?
Useful endeavor, maybe?
Yeah, that's what I meant. What would you do?
Opinions are subjective, are they not?
Are they?
Yes.
Are lies subjective? Like, if somebody's calling in, they either have lied or not, right? That would be an objective reality.
Lies are subjective, sure.
No. Whether somebody has lied or not. Is that subjective, Barry?
Yes, because it's up to the interpreter to determine whether that is a lie or not.
So, if you've called in the past as Matt, and you've done so multiple times, so you know that is what you call in on. And in fact, earlier today, you called in on as Matt, and then something happened and you decided to call in as Barry. Would I would I sit there and be unreasonable to go, I think this guy might be a liar? Brother. See, Barry, I think
Matt
you're lying again.
Brother.
I think you're lying again.
Okay.
I think you're Matt.
Subjective, but sure.
Well, no. That wouldn't be subjective. It would be objective.
It is.
It would be objective. Either you are lying or you're not lying.
If it was truthful, yes, it would be an objective lie. But
it would be incorrect. You could say being wrong is not the same as being subjective. You get that, right?
Do you know what subjective means?
What's your favorite app on your phone, Barry?
Favorite app on my phone?
Yeah. Not on your brother's phone, but on your phone. What's your favorite app?
ESPN.
Okay, cool. Do you have that phone in front of you?
Sure.
Cool. Go to the page where that app is. But don't open it, right?
Okay.
And now, from that app, how far away is the phone app?
What are you talking about?
Is it like 1 down and 3 over, or is it 3 over and 1 down?
I don't understand what you're talking about.
You're looking at the page that has your ESPN app on it. You didn't open it because you can follow instructions, right? So the phone app the app where you would dial a phone number in relation to where the location of the ESPN app is, where is it about? How far?
Yeah, we're going to have a conversation. We're going to fucking debate semantics all day.
Okay, you're right. Okay, so you've got the phone open. Go ahead and call 336-543-2101 from that phone, since you're a different person than Matt. And Matt, it's just a total coincidence. Matt called, then hung up, and then you called back on Matt's phone. Anyway, we will talk to you when you call back from that phone.
Hold on.
Nope. We'll talk to you when you call back from that phone, buddy. All right, we can go ahead and remove those.
Have you ever talked to that dude before?
Yes, I've talked to Matt multiple times. He's an idiot.
Oh, okay.
Matt's real dumb.
Okay. Well, maybe it's his brother. Maybe this is really Barry.
Hey, we'll be talking to Barry when he calls in from his own phone and not his brother's. It'll be great.
Wonder where he picked the name Barry. It's not a very common name today.
Barry, 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 Barry.
Is that for American Dad?
Yeah, you know what it is.
So.
All of our references are, it feels like.
Yeah.
I'm interested in this call. It won't probably be very argumentative. Debbie in Canada. Debbie in Canada, you are on the line with Jimmy and Owen. How are you, Debbie?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing
I'm
well.
okay.
That's good.
What do you got?
Okay, yeah, so I kind of wanted to talk about my dad. He really is, he's a typical Trumper, but, well, I guess not typical because he's been living in Canada since 1987, which is when I was born. And there's 8 of us.
Wow. It's a lot of kids.
Like, he's been enjoying all the social safety nets that Canada has to offer, including all the free health care. And yet, online, and even when he speaks out loud to his own kids and myself and everyone in the world, he was a massive Trump supporter. Like the kind that posts on Facebook like 20 times a day, like multiple times even in an hour. Like there was once he even said like, you know, what is it, like long live the king or whatever. Like that, that kind of, yeah, no, it's alienated like all of us from him. Like most of my siblings don't talk to him anymore. He has no friends, like totally isolated. And it wasn't until Trump declared the tariffs on Canada when he finally decided to give up his support.
Did he flip?
He flipped. Yeah,
okay.
Like all of a sudden, as soon as it turned on Canada, which affects him, now all of a sudden it's a problem. But the thing is that when I talk to him about it, like, you know, I'll say, yeah, like Trump's a piece of shit because of this and this and this, expecting him to like finally come to terms with all the bullshit he's been in denial of. He will still defend. Like it's almost like it's not always like a complete switch. Like it's almost like a process. But here's the weirdest part is that he went from being like chronically online, influencing, by the way, that hundreds of thousands of people. Like he actually had a credible amount of Americans and like Republicans on his Facebook, people who he's never met, but they were all drawn to him because he has a loud voice, very strong opinions, and I guess he words things in a way people like.
Okay, interesting.
And he is from New York City, like he is American. So
hey.
He's got that. He still has his accent and everything, right? Yeah. And so like he has that attitude and he never let go of it. But it's like it's very frustrating because I'm trying to tell him, like, I don't want to say I told you so, Dad, although I do. But it's hard to because I see how broken he is. He's just this sad old man, and he's succumbed to completely like shutting away from the internet entirely.
How old?
I can't even send him like a clip of something funny on Facebook anymore. He doesn't even check his messages.
Debbie, how old?
How old is he?
How old is he? He's 74.
Wow. Well,
how's his health?
Not good. His health is terrible. Like he barely gets out of bed. He's very depressed. What's that?
How long do you think he has? Like, do you think he's going to live another 10 years, or do you feel like he's finishing up his? Not to be like sad, but is he at the end of his life, or does he got some time left?
He could have some time left. Like the thing is that he's got the body built for survival, but he's treated his body like shit. There's no reason he should have been alive even 20 years ago. But my brother right now is living with him as his caretaker. He's had a couple of heart attacks and he's very immobile and even needs like a nurse to come in once a week to like help him bathe. So he's not well at all.
Rough.
This is a decide for yourself thing, but here's what I know. If I was closing in on 80 and I found out my kids were keeping from me that they basically pity me for how dumb I've been, I'd pretty much want to blow out my own brain. So I think if you think he has enough time, I think you should confront him for it. I think you should, I told you so, and then use it as a jumping off point of conversations by which he can get his vigor back, by which he can get out of bed. Because right now, If he's just stewing in depression, that shit can just keep you there forever. Now, what I really wish you would do is get him to call us.
Yeah.
I'd like to debate your father.
I wish I could do that too.
But
I really wish I could.
I don't know how well
he's doing. Well, you know, if he had that vigor in him still, perhaps.
Yeah.
If he still had that fight in him, if he was still like on Trump's side and he was really all like gung ho about it, perhaps there was a chance.
He's moving away from Trump then, or?
He has moved away from Trump, but he hasn't completely, you know, deprogrammed, I guess, so to speak. Like, there's a lot of lingering, like, you know, I don't know, like brainwashing shit.
Still conservative?
I think
he's very Republican, although he's so in denial. He'll say he's not Republican. Like, he's a walking contradiction all the time.
I think you should ask it in a way that gives him an opportunity to brag initially, or to feel like he's passing along wisdom. And I think you just sit and go, look, Dad, I'm going to be around a number of years that you aren't. That's going to be sad for one of us, maybe both. I don't know. If it was my dad, I'd be like, that'll be sad for you, not me. But anyway, it's going to be sad.
No, that would
you recognize.
I still love him. I resent him, but I still love him.
Sure. You recognize that you fell for something. I want you to explain it to me. Explain to me what about it. What is it you think went wrong? Do you think that Trump was telling the truth and he changed? Or do you think you fell for something? And I want you to explain it to me, because when you're gone, who knows what I'm going to be faced with? I don't want to fall for that. I want to know what to look out for and why'd you fall for it? What about him? Did Trump change? Did you change? Who changed?
That's a good specific question, but I should tell you that I actually have approached these conversations, not always like intentionally. Sometimes they just happen, right? Where I'm just talking to my brother who lives with them, right? We're talking politics. My dad happens to be there, or even a subject is brought up, and then something relevant to what's going on will be brought up, and then it turns into politics right away. And whenever that happens, and I can't help but challenge him. I have a very, you know, like, I have a nature in me that needs to like rationalize things and debate things, and it gets him very upset. As soon as I really am fair, like, seriously, like, I will approach it in probably far more of a gentle way than your approach even. But I will still like cut to the point.
My actual approach, it'll be
like,
more
when
gentle.
he comes up with defensive shit, and then I will like go, well, that's not relevant, Dad. Like, how about the question I asked? But the thing is, right away, he will get angry, defensive. He'll lash out like a child, and he'll storm off every single time. And it actually makes him more depressed. He'll slam the door, and he'll spend even more time alone in his room. You know, it's like where he already spends too much time.
You know how we have a lot of conversations about the prefrontal cortex, and people who misunderstand it think it finishes developing around 25 and that your brain's like good from them. The thing that a lot of these people don't recognize, because they're just repeating headline science, is the prefrontal cortex and other systems in your brain really never stop, quote unquote, developing. But actually, you could also describe a period of time, and I think it starts at about 40 to 45, you're actually losing overall function. While other things are still building in there, you're losing more than you're gaining. So this is part of why older people can seem more stubborn, because changing the minds of older people is more difficult, because their brain is less susceptible to change. Their neuroplasticity is less. Their ability to make new memories and for those memories to inform personality and stuff are more locked in. At a certain point, legitimately, I hate to give you this advice, but as somebody who's never changed his own parents' mind, and that literally is, I think, all 30 people who work at the line, even those who have parents who have changed their minds on politics or on religion, wasn't from talking to them. So I think at a certain point, you just have to decide if you can just accept your dad as is and find what good memories you can get out of them between now and the rest of his life, and how much you want to be involved. And I'd be much less worried about. Otherwise, you need to be talking to like a therapist about what to do to try to get him out of his funk and to get him to.
Sounds like you found a medium, though, to some degree, right? That you can kind of work in.
Yeah, like, and I totally understand what you're saying. I mean, I didn't know the thing about the lessening of the neuroplasticity in the brain after the age of 40. I'll have to look into that one. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But the part where I was, a little iffy about is like, I actually had, and we all had, me and my siblings and my mom, who's divorced from him, we've all had to accept that he's never going to change. That's why most of them just estranged themselves to him. Like this, we've all
some of that's
up.
also just being a man. By the
even
way.
my brother,
even
who takes
before
care of him, like doesn't even enter those conversations. But what makes it more complicated recently is because he had detached from Trump. He had said, "I don't support Trump anymore," and so I can't help but feel like that's an in to try to make him feel better about the fact that he has diverted from his gung-ho belief, like to help him feel better about it so he doesn't have to bury his head in the sand, so he doesn't have to, because he's at the point where he doesn't believe anything. He just like,
Debbie,
all of it's lies, and I don't know what to believe. I'm just going to hide. And I'm like, no, Dad, it doesn't have to be that way. There is a truth.
That's possible. I mean, I can hear when you talk.
Debbie, can you not hear when I talk?
I'm sorry. I didn't realize I was talking over you.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It was I've had questions along the way of the things you were saying and wanting to get answers, and I think you can't hear when I'm trying to ask. The thing I was going to ask about was his motivation to change. Because if I like two things, but you're only thinking about the one that I like. So let's say it's something horrible, like I like beating dogs, okay? And there's something else I like, and then I turn against beating dogs because it's something else. It poorly affects something else I like, which is beating cats. And so I turn against beating dogs because beating dogs is preventing me from beating cats as much. Then it's not like, hey, we should talk about the victory if he's not beating dogs anymore. Well, now I'm just putting all my energy into beating cats. This is a terrible metaphor, but the idea is if the motivation isn't because he saw the light and saw what was wrong with Donald Trump, but in fact it was because something else he has toxic pride in, toxic attachment to, went up in competition with Trump and Trump lost, then that's not like an inroad to progressivism. That's just like legitimately, like, okay, the actual better metaphor, a lot of white supremacists turned on Donald Trump when they found out his son-in-law was Jewish. So if you met one of him, you met Cantwell, and you were like, oh, you don't like that his son-in-law is Jewish and he let his daughter marry a Jew. You don't like Trump anymore. So now let's figure out how to turn you not liking Trump anymore into you being a full-blown progressive. Well, the guy's a Nazi on the other side. Now, I'm not saying, Debbie, that your dad's a Nazi, but I'm saying the motivation does matter. And so if the reason he doesn't like Trump anymore was because Trump became too Jewy, that wouldn't be a bonding point, whatever his actual reason is.
Definitely.
I definitely see your point, and I actually totally get it. And I think that was a good metaphor about the like not hurting the dog, so why would you hurt the cat? And a really good like parallel to that is when, like the whole, tariffs on Canada, and I think he even mentioned something about a wall in North, but don't call me on that. But either way, okay. It's very reminiscent of him like making an enemy of Mexico. We're all North America, right? And so I actually brought that up to him. I said, like, wow, he's even targeting Canada now. How is that not the same of when he first targeted Mexico? And thinking that he would find the logic in it, but you're right, he didn't, because he does have racist inner prejudice in him that I really hate, that he never will admit. He never will admit it. He doesn't believe that he's racist, but he is. Deep down,
he's 10 lines down the first they came for the poem. You know what I mean? He's like all the way at the end. And I said nothing because I was not a Mexican. And I said,
he grew up in Harlem in the 60s, which was a black neighborhood. And
that makes him not racist.
So he grew up with a really racist family and much more racist friends. So in comparison to them, he thinks like it puts this idea in his head that he must not be racist because of his backstory, whereas when put into practice everything he says into the current world, no, he sounds like a racist bigot.
I'm good at sex because my brother's terrible at it.
Sometimes I just kind of think that like there's more to my dad because he actually is a good person deep down. It's just so confusing and it's difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a cult. It's destructive. It rips families apart, makes people miserable, and it'll be better when this cult of personality is gone. And it will happen. Just needs a little bit of time. You know?
Older people benefit from cognitive behavioral therapy. That's the type of therapy that can break through the things that are working against them and their brain.
Yeah, he's never going to go to therapy, but luckily I am.
Right.
Yeah, I kind of need it after all this.
Yeah. All right. Well, Debbie, I think we've given you the best advice we can. Unfortunately, I don't have much more than that. No, that's
great. I really appreciate your time. Yeah.
Cool. We'll see ya.
All right. See ya. Bye.
Kate in chat, if you actually want to debate Mamdani, fucking call. You keep saying the dumbest shit in chat. Like we gathered the chat also you could have a show in the live chat. Jesus Christ, Kate. Shut the fuck up and call in.
Give us a call.
Shut up and talk. Shut up on your keyboard. Use your mouth parts and dial in.
Wait, whoever voted for Mamdani got duped. Where's the free bus fares? Why are major stores leaving? Why are our crime rates rising? I don't believe that crime rates are rising. I'm pretty confident they're not.
Right, crime rates are actually at an all-time low. And just so you guys know, whenever somebody says, here are the programs we're going to work on, that doesn't mean the day they show up, they go into effect. And in fact, he's done a shit ton of stuff, including balancing the budget.
Yeah.
You finally have a solvent, or is it non-solvent? What's the right version?
It's solvent.
You're fucking like, and legitimately from a blue city under a socialist. Kate, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
And do you know why he couldn't get those bus fares? Do you know why everything was a mess, Kate? Because Eric Adams, who turns out is a Republican, a MAGA Christian nationalist extremist, ran up the bills on everything. They legally have to have a balanced budget, and he kept fudging the numbers through his entire administration until they had a massive deficit, which was passed on to Mamdani. And I believe Mamdani dug New York City out of a $14 billion hole, which is insane for a new mayor to be able to do. He has accomplished so much, it's ridiculous. And yes, I'm from New York City. I'm from Manhattan, Upper East Side. So I know exactly what's going on in that area, in that neighborhood, in that city. I know the city like the back of my hand, and I support Mamdani fully, and everybody that I know does as well.
And it's really triggering these people that Mamdani is quickly proving himself to be one of the best mayors New York has ever had, and the country has right now, and will likely go down in history as such. I mean, don't get me wrong, Republicans and probably Democrats are going to try to start sabotaging them, because whenever anything starts moving left works, that's their playbook. That's their, all right, how do we spend billions of dollars now to, in the long term, make billions, but to the short term disadvantage to remove this thing that's going to take money from us in the short term, that's going to raise our taxes, for example. Kate, you're not even a real person unless you call in. I don't even know that you're not a fucking bot.
That's possible.
Let's see.
Completely full of shit either way.
Hey, Barry. Barry, you called back. Hey, Barry. Did you call back on your phone using that phone app?
I called back with my real number.
No, you didn't. This is a VoIP. I can literally see it. Envoy is a VoIP carrier, so you are once again lying. So once again, not taking your call. Call back with your cell phone, buddy. He literally used a VoIP. And like, that's his second lie. That is Matt. Matt called earlier, screened, hung up. Barry called, says, no, I'm Barry. I'm his older brother, Barry, using his phone number. He says he calls back using his real phone number.
Wait.
Calls back with an Envoy VoIP.
Wait a minute. Matt Barry. Is that a famous name? It sounds familiar. Matt Barry.
The guy from, isn't that him? Matt Barry. I say, welcome to Grifting 101.
It's possible. Could be him.
I liked the IT crowd before Graham Linehan became his whole personality.
Oh, that dude.
A fucking piece of shit.
Yes. I remember that.
Dear son, how'd you know I killed myself? Wait. Not with this gun, but by jumping out the window.
Never actually seen the show, sadly.
Did you ever see the vampire show, What We Do in the Shadows?
No.
Bats! It's a very good show.
I have to watch it. I've been watching From lately. You ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
From? Do you remember Lost, the TV show Lost from forever ago? It was made by the same guys who made Lost. From
M. Night Shyamalan?
No. Lost was made by God, I don't remember their names. But anyway, it's a really good show. From is, oh my God, dude. It is so good.
Do you think they know where it's going? Because wasn't that the problem with Lost, that they just
it was yeah
the first season they're like, so we didn't plan out the rest.
Yep. I actually liked all of Lost, honestly, but yes, that was a big problem with Lost, but not with From. I feel like From, they're doing a really good job with it. In my opinion.
Just watched, what was the name of that show? Something in Alice.
I don't know it.
And it's about the guy from Flight of the Conchords, Jermaine Clement, and Jermaine is in his 50s, early 50s. Him and his best friend are hanging out. She's got a whole family, and then he ends up dating her daughter, his best friend's daughter, who's in her like mid to late 20s. And anyway, it was an interesting show. Except I feel there were 2 episodes of lazy writing within it. One, where 2 pivotal characters are having an argument, but they do the thing where you see the argument from the person watching in the car, so you don't know what they're actually saying to each other. Yeah. And so you're like, so you just couldn't write the actual argument. You couldn't put substance in it. And then 2, the very end. What do you mean apparently it's not Jermaine? Jermaine? I don't know what you guys are talking about. Anyway. And then 2, the very end, I'm not going to spoil it, but the very end has like you don't know what the outcome was. Like imagine like a show where a person's on the edge of a diving board and they're either going to jump and maybe it'll be dangerous if they jump or not. And that's dangerous for some reason because there's a serial killer chasing them down the thing. You don't know which one they're going to do. They end the season before you find out if they jumped or stayed to get killed by the serial killer.
Oh my God, dude. I hate that.
And I'm literally like, you're like, oh, it'll be fun for the person who's watching because they'll get to decide.
Right.
In their own. And I'm like, no, you're a writer. You decide and tell me what happens. That's insufferable. That's legitimately like I was like I actually really liked the show. It was funny. There was like, oh my gosh, this and that and whatever, and showing the differences between the generations because he's like trying to hang out with her friends and they find a lot of stuff he says problematic and then all this kind of stuff that is pretty funny. And then the show doesn't actually have an end, and I'm like, fuck you.
Right. Oh my God, that sucks. How many seasons did
I also think Reese Darby is funny. No, I think it's a limited series, so I think it's just the 1 season. I think it was basically just a long movie.
Interesting. Well, you have to watch From. I'm telling you, it's so worth the watch. It is so good. It's a horror show about how they're trapped in a town. Like they show up to this town, they got lost, and they're there, and they can't get out, and there are monsters that like hunt them at night. It's really, really good. Unfortunately, it's on Amazon Prime, basically. Okay. It's on MGM Plus, actually, but it's through Amazon Prime, an app within an app. It's really good, though.
Not Paramount Plus?
No.
Does anyone actually watch Paramount Plus?
I actually have Paramount Plus for the Star Trek series. Yeah.
What's, Peacock. That's the one nobody watches, Peacock. I'm like, man, I missed The Office, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I can just use I can use Hulu's DVR function on all the reruns that are going on Comedy Central of The Office.
I usually just I have like one streaming service per month. So if I have like Peacock for a month, then I cancel all the others for the month, and just kind of move from one to the other. But anyway, you have to watch From. I'm going to message you and get weekly updates to see how
no, it's ongoing. I will watch it when at least a season is out. I'm not going to start.
It's halfway through season 4 now.
Okay, then we'll start it. Okay. That sounds like something that also my partner, while never really consuming my stuff before we met, was apparently a fan of yours.
Yeah.
And she'll just want to watch it because you recommended it.
All right, good. Yes. I will leverage my power and authority as a public figure to get you to watch From.
Also, I love Lost. That's one of my favorite shows.
Yes, me too. Oh my God, it's so good.
Wait, really?
That's true. Though we didn't
I love Lost.
We did stop at like season 3 or something of Lost. We were watching it.
Oh,
we
I've
just
seen the whole thing
got
so
bored
many
of it.
times.
No, I
Me
know,
too.
but we were
you
doing
got
a
bored of it.
rewatch.
I didn't get bored of it.
You also got bored of it.
No, I didn't.
Otherwise, I would every night I go, "What do you want to watch?" And if you wanted to watch Lost, we would have put on Lost. But you always
I
go,
loved Lost,
no,
dude.
whatever.
I loved all the way to the very end, honestly. I didn't like the final scene where they were like, oh, yeah, this is heaven or whatever. That was stupid.
Oh, yeah, that's
but
garbage.
Every other part was so good. Even the Dharma Initiative, all of it was so
now
good.
The guy, I read a thing where it was like, they were like 15 years later, they finally explained. And apparently both realities exist. Apparently it's like so the one where Hugo stays behind and is on the island exists as well as the dying one, the heaven one. They're
I
saying
think
that
they
like
were
reality split and you're watching two different and that's basically multiverse shit. And I ain't about it. Shut the
Right.
fuck up. I barely gave you a time travel pass on this show.
I think at the end they basically said some of us arrived here more recently and others arrived way later, and they were basically like, yeah, we all end up here eventually. And this is the most important time in our lives. So this is like, the thing that we
But that's not what the creator said, like
heaven.
just a couple years ago when he was like, no, they're both two separate timelines.
That's weird.
We were just watching both.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, I did like it.
We should answer these last calls, I think.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Benjamin in Alabama is calling to tell me how annoying it is for me to talk about AI being useful because it's absolute garbage. Well, you are objectively wrong. It's already putting people out of work. What say you?
Hello.
Hello.
Let's wish Donald Trump a happy birthday, that diaper shitting kid fucker.
Well, then why would you wish him a happy birthday?
Well, to call him a diaper shitting kid fucker.
Okay. You don't have to. You can call him that without wishing him a happy birthday.
You can even wish him a terrible birthday.
Which I'm gonna.
That's fair. It's a terrible birthday.
Wait, is it today? I always forget that it's not on Hitler's birthday.
Is it on today? Hitler's birthday is 4/20, by the way. I don't know.
Yeah,
if you knew
I know that. I know that. Weirdly, it's easy to remember. Now? What day did he die?
He died on May. No, shit. April 29th, 1945, somewhere in there between April
30th,
29th
1945.
Damn,
now,
I was so close.
When was Trump born?
June something, 1945.
1946. June 19th, 1946.
Dude,
so we're talking.
Is Trump a reincarnation?
I was going to say, I don't believe in reincarnation, but 10 months after
sketchy.
After he dies, and look, Mary Trump looks like she keeps those babies inside her a little extra long, cooking a little longer. Probably takes a little bit of time for the spirit of Hitler to move babies.
I can see that.
All I know is something about Hitler dying clearly was when Fred and Mary started getting real horny and started trying.
Do you know that Fred was arrested in a big KKK sweep in the mid 1900s?
Donald Trump claims it's not true, but I've heard about it. I'd heard about it. Anyway, Benjamin, what do you want?
Well, maybe I've got it wrong. Convince me. But from every expert that I listen to, AI is completely useless. It's a slot machine that gives you random results that could be good, but it's not because this is an intelligent machine.
So by every expert you've ever met, you mean the first person who you ever talked to when ChatGPT first launched?
No, I mean people like Ed Zitron, etc., who actually study this.
And how old is that video?
Ed Zitron? Ed Zitron is making new material daily.
No. A video where Ed Vitron said AI is completely useless because you are literally talking to two people who use it to do software engineering and has made our jobs much easier in our capacity. So I can already tell you completely useless is insane because a few years ago when I was first trying to get the line organized as we brought more people on, I went to a software engineer and said, hey, here are all of the tools I would like to build for my channel. and I'd like to have it on a website. How much would it cost? And it was coming out to a 5-figure price. If I had done everything, it would have been tens of thousands of dollars. And just the one main thing was going to be like $6,000 to $7,000 to get started. I have built every single one of those tools despite having no software engineering background myself in the last few months.
It's not a slot machine. That's not how it works.
Right. So I don't know where you're getting this. It is completely useless. In fact, none of us would be talking shit about it. And what a big problem it is if it weren't for the fact that we have not just knowledge, but firsthand knowledge of how threatening it is to the workers of the world, how much it is destroying jobs now. And the fact of the matter is, Benjamin, people have already lost work to it.
So do you have a take on that? Are you still with us?
Rebuttal.
We lose you?
How much of that? No, I'm trying to actually be polite and let you finish, unlike many callers that you had.
Thank you for letting
frustrating.
us. Yeah.
How much of that work has to be checked over? And additionally, how much did AI lose? How much money did AI lose when it completed these services for you?
Literally none of the things you just described are actually important to the question. How much should be checked over? Should be checked over would be all of it. The people who you can give them to check it over literally will use AI to check it over. So even the amount of effort that would go into checking it over has been dramatically reduced, thus that the checkers, you will now only need one software checker where previously you may have needed hundreds of developers and checkers. And then as far as how much money they lost, these are for-profit companies. They're figuring out how to profit. Gemini just became the official partner of Siri, and if you've seen the preview of the new Siri that's coming out, not only would you not be able to say it is completely useless, just from the preview of that new Siri, you're about to see a whole line of people who previously were like, oh, I never use AI ever if I can avoid it, who are going to convert to this AI assistant because they will fall behind in society if they don't, because that's how useful this new Siri that's coming out, or whatever the Android equivalent's going to be, since it's built with Gemini as the backing, but it's built on top of Gemini.
100%.
So again, your completely useless claim was your complaint, and it could not be further from the truth. Again, my problem with AI isn't that it's shitty and we're wasting our money on nothing. It's that it's developing at an extreme rate. Its capabilities, I worded this poorly the other day. Its capabilities are actually doubling roughly every 5 months. There are elements within it that have to do with power consumption and shit that are doubling every 2 months. It is actually
back to Moore's law. Damn.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's cracked the shit out of Moore's law. It is developing at an insane pace. And for you to sit there and say, even somebody in the chat, I bet against Jimmy on this one. Okay, well, what was the bet? Because you've already lost. The things that we're talking about the future are the ultimate worsening. Everything I have described, irreplaceable labor, for example, as in people put out of work who cannot find meaningful work to replace their incomes. So they are either unemployed or dramatically underemployed, has already begun at the behest of AI. You've already lost the bet. And that will only get worse as AI continues to develop. It's pretty basic math.
Absolutely agreed. It's not useless.
Is that,
Small Duck in chat trying to say something. I literally was using the language the caller just said. He used the word checkers, so I use checkers. You fucking idiot. Go ahead.
Is that new theory that isn't out yet being caged up because it's so dangerous, like every single other one they've ever had? Oh, it's too dangerous. We can't give it to you yet. If we let it out of the cage, it'll terminate her and take over.
Are you describing mythos? Are you describing mythos? Because they actually proved it was too dangerous.
Really? How did they prove that? I would love to hear this one.
By literally doing a demonstration of it being able to crack code that was considered secure in minutes.
It found zero-day bugs in Unix.
Yeah, this was explained why that was a joke as well.
It was a joke. What was explained? Who explained
Benjamin,
it?
I think you might just be, and I don't mean this mean, it will sound mean. I think you might just be a sort of kind of run-of-the-mill dumb guy, and you're just trying to say hyped things you've heard before. I don't think you actually understand most of the words coming out of your mouth.
Wow. What's there to not understand about computers not being able to think? That they can't.
Who said computers can't think?
Language.
Wait, who said computers can't think? Computers can think now. What does it mean to think?
To reason, to understand language?
Nope. Incorrect. Incorrect. So wait, animals don't think since they don't have reasoning and language skills? Many of them don't. Some do. Do
animals
bugs think?
Do think?
Do insects think?
Sure.
Do fish?
Sure.
You're talking about a lot of things that don't have reasoning skills. Ants will literally march in a circular pattern until they die if that's the direction the scents tell them to go. Do ants think? Let me ask you this. Do anti-AI call-in supposed leftists think?
I am a leftist. I can prove that to you.
And do you think?
Yes.
Could have fooled me.
Look, do you really not think that AI is moving things forward or like contributing in any meaningful way? Do you really think that it's not actually increasing productivity in any field at all? Or that do you think it's like what?
It has limited use cases. It is useful for mundane tasks that are below human.
Okay. Well, what about, let me tell you what it is. Okay. It's very good at pattern matching. That's what it's basically built to do, pattern match. So you show it a bunch of pictures of breast cancer, and you show it pictures of people who we don't know have breast cancer or not, and it can tell you which ones do have breast cancer years ahead of what a normal doctor can. That's incredibly valuable, right?
That's at the advanced end of like doctors and shit. Literally, like, go to an Amazon warehouse and fucking tell me this shit. Are you fucking with me right now? Like, is this a troll call? Is it a joke? Rivian now has a self-driving system that by which its Rivian customers only have to have their hands on the wheel. They're actually allowed to put them in their lap for like 80%. They don't have to have their hands on the wheel for 80% of their drives. And by the end of the year, it's supposed to be they can take their hands off the wheel for the entire drive. And that's driving cars. Literally, I live in Austin where Waymos are all over and cyber taxis are all over, and they're rapidly developing. And even though we keep seeing the videos of them failing, they're still failing at a rate dramatically lower than humans.
You're seeing how these things could be useful and helpful and add to the productivity of what we do every day, right? Like, I don't understand your position here at all, that it's not vaporware, it's not fake, it's actually contributing to real tangible things.
To help Satan, who just wrote, why is AI still completely incapable of writing a usable legal brief? It is very unlikely that statement is still true.
It's not true.
Right. You're not allowed to, in many courts, use AI-generated legal briefs, but I guarantee you...
there is a specially trained AI for legal issues, and there's a specially trained one for medical issues, and those blow lawyers and doctors out of the water if it's specially trained for those things.
Right.
Like, not even close.
No, this is what annoys the shit out of me. Hey, Samia, to describe what is actually happening with AI and how capable it is not pro-AI. We are not here saying AI is great, go buy it. We're saying AI is great, so great it will replace you. So we have to convert to a socialist system now, or we are fucked. Because actually, we're probably already fucked. It's probably already too late. to describe the actual state of AI as it is now is not pro-AI. And it is being head in the sand, trying to avoid the inevitability of the absolute semi-truck full of fuel that is barreling towards you, to not be honest about what it is capable of. And again, people like the caller Benjamin right now acting like, one, it's worse than it is now, and two, our worries for the future are overblown, when I am not content with not the future, but how AI has fucked you, all of you, right now. This second, all of you have already been fucked by it to some degree.
Even if you don't realize it.
I think that AI is going to fuck us in a different, way more mundane way than being useful. It's just going to be a scourge on our natural resources and use up all our water and occupy all our compute power.
Why would we be wasting those resources on a non-useful product?
Because of a damn Ponzi scheme. Because of a Ponzi scheme. Because
it's a Ponzi scheme. Do you know what a Ponzi scheme is? Can you tell me what it is?
Yes, this is where later investors are paid by earlier ones.
Yeah. And so how is AI a Ponzi scheme in any way, shape, or form? Can you kind of
By the way,
connect
that's not
the
even
dots for
correct.
me?
That's not even correct what a Ponzi scheme is. What you just described was the stock market.
Really, are you telling me that you can look up a Ponzi scheme and not see that later investors are paid by earlier ones? That is how Ponzi schemes are operated.
But it's more, you're saying like one element of it. It's kind of like me saying like, hey, I have this racket where I sell people spoiled foods. And I ask you, what is that racket? And you're like, it's where you're selling foods. And it's like, you're not mentioning the most important part, the spoiled foods.
Yeah. And there's actually a Ponzi scheme story about that.
The thing that, yes, we all know about Barry. But you're sitting here acting like unless you're literally just talking about Charles Ponzi. The part that you left out is that future investors, or rather previous investors, are paid out of the funds brought in by new investors rather than paid from legitimate profits. Borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, but pretending that it was a through line of money while you are embezzling the money on the other side. So when you are over reducing what you're describing, when what you described is just the stock market, which, don't get me wrong, I'm against the stock market too. Like, goodness fucking sakes. I don't know how to take anything you're saying seriously, Benjamin. You have a third grader's understanding of everything.
Really?
And when you're like quoting experts and shit. Meanwhile, most experts, including people like Stephen Hawking before he died and even saw the level to which we got AI to, was describing AI. He was one of the last things he did was write that letter to OpenAI about the restrictions and limits that need to be on it, and described AI as a potentially human ending event.
I listened to a whole thing on Stephen Hawking and his conversation with AI. It was ridiculous, the attributes that he was giving AI.
Wait. I'm sorry. You're talking about Richard Dawkins, right?
Yeah, Richard Dawkins is not Stephen Hawking.
And he's also an idiot. Yes, Richard Dawkins is an idiot.
Had a stroke a few years ago and clearly went crazy since then. Yeah.
Did he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Dawkins
got brain fucked by a stroke. Jordan Peterson got brain fucked by black mold. Both of them are crazy now because of that.
Yes, and Dawkins named Claudia. I mean, it was pretty cringy and painful and ridiculous.
I'm just glad he's finding love in his final days on Earth.
Yeah.
Benjamin, Stephen Hawking is not Richard Dawkins. So right after I said I can't take anything seriously because you have the understanding of a third grader, and you said really with a level of discontent with my suggestion, you then mistook Stephen Hawking for Richard Dawkins. Stephen Hawking never had a conversation with AI, only knew the preliminary foundations of AI, and still wrote a letter to OpenAI. This was back before we knew how evil Elon Musk was. Elon was famously on the same letter about the limitations because he described AI as a potential human-ending event.
Well, yeah, sure. AI will end us just for destroying our environment.
Right. That's what he was saying, except it wasn't at all. Literally, the experts say that we are talking about a thing that is on the threat level of nuclear development. But when it came to nuclear bombs, we never let private companies, apparently we started recently letting some private companies have weapons grade uranium. I guess Trump is letting some startup do it. But before, we never let companies develop nuclear. We only let governments do so. And now we have something that people are saying is more, the experts are saying is more threatening than AI. And we are letting it be driven by profit motive. And as much as Elon wants to be, I just want to save the world and everybody be happy and I make everybody a fun place on Mars. He's now worth $1.2 trillion. But Benjamin thinks AI is overblown and can't do anything useful. When's the last time you tried to do something useful with it, Benjamin? I literally designed the socialist accounting system that we used on the line, with it. What have you done with it?
I don't care to do anything with that.
Yeah,
machine.
no shit. So you're talking out of your ass and you can't even give anecdotal evidence of it. Go ask ChatGPT to count to 100 serially and at least use that bullshit as your understanding of its capability.
Anecdotal evidence is never accepted in these kind of arguments anyway.
Buddy, I was saying you don't even have anecdotal. You have so little evidence you can't even present anecdotal. You had no data. You only have not even an argument from authority. An argument from authority, trust me, bro, that authority said it. That's your fallacy committed. Anyway, we have one more. Oh, it's just Jeff. Sorry, Jeff, but we'll get to you in a second. Bruh. Benjamin, you haven't said a single thing that would make me I feel like there are people who think I'm an AI doomer, and even they in the chat right now are going to be like, look, I think Jimmy's wrong, but let's not call Benjamin one of our warriors. We're not suiting up Benjamin to go and fight this for us.
Well, super. That doesn't make me wrong about this. Greater minds than mine.
Like who?
Are saying what?
Who said that AI is completely useless? That is a greater mind than you, which, by the way, is still an argument from authority. But who said that?
Ed Zitron, Gamers Nexus. People who study this shit.
Gamers Nexus has never said, Gamers Nexus has absolutely never said, I don't even like Gamers Nexus. I would bet money has never said it was useless. In fact, I would go out on a limb and say I can predict what he actually said, which is that gaming slop made by AI looks like shit, which is mostly true right now. However, there are games that have used a tremendous amount of AI that are also performing very highly. Pal World comes to mind.
Okay.
You reach out to Gamers Nexus and ask if he wants to debate me with, and the topic line that he has to take the pro on is AI is completely useless.
I feel like it's bizarre that you conceded that AI is not useless earlier, and now you're saying that it is useless.
I would say completely useless was hyperbolic of me, and you've latched onto that in order to.
Well, that's what you said.
You literally
those are the words you said.
Said it to us and the screener as your thesis statement, and you stated that greater minds than you had said the exact same thing. When I just found the quote, which is that at best, Steve from Gamers Nexus has described AI as overhyped, used as a marketing term, which I would also agree with. The current use, the current way that it is presented is overhyped when you are trying to get investors. However, when you then go and look at what's happening at these major conferences where people are repeating, see, the people at these corporate conferences are saying AI is not even that good. They're lamenting that they haven't been able to replace as many workers yet as they were told they were able to replace, not that they aren't replacing workers, simply that the scale is not as large as they were promised or expecting.
Which is horrifying and a problem that needs to be dealt with in society. I want to make that clear. Like, there are issues that need to be dealt with dramatically with AI that make it very, very disturbing and concerning.
Still don't know who the fuck Edzatron is.
I don't know either.
My understanding that many of these jobs were companies overhiring in the first place, and then rather than admitting their mistake, saying that they replaced the job.
Great. Give me an example of a company and the data you have to back up that claim, because I don't care about your vibe.
I don't have that. That's a theory that I've
And why
heard.
are you claiming it? It's not a theory. It's a hypothesis at best. It's a lie at worst. You have no clue what you're talking about. You don't have the data.
Hey, Benjamin, I've got a hairy ass. Would you like me to go wipe it on some toilet paper, see if the hairs form any letters and words, and give you my hypothesis? Because that's about as valuable as the one you just presented to us.
That's as valuable as what AI does, dude, in general.
I literally just told you that I've used AI to build pivotal systems in my own company. So no, it's not nearly as useful as wiping the hairs off of my ass. It literally is responsible for the equitable socialist accounting system here, as well as the system we use now to put the banners on the screen, to keep track of the super chats and the live chats. I can change. Everybody watch right now. You're going to see the color of the banner change. This is from an app I built recently using AI, using an overlay system that I pump into vMix, that now we have one browser source that controls all of the major controls for our company that I vibe coded. Anyway, as useless as the hair on my ass, you were saying.
Indeed.
Okay. Just when presented with evidence to the contrary, you just say indeed. Okay.
I'd love to see you box, like you're boxing and you're just getting the shit beat out of you and you're bleeding everywhere and you can't stand up and you're like, I'm going to win this thing. Like, goodness fucking sakes. I've never seen a person not remotely affected by how badly they have lost a debate, and you have lost this one from every conceivable angle.
Absolutely.
But there's something admirable. If they've lost all their teeth, they're bleeding, their eyes are swollen shut, they got 2 cauliflower ears, and they're like, next round belongs to me. There's something admirable about that.
No, this round belongs to me is really what he's saying.
I'm doing great. And ironically, you're fighting an AI robot. You see those karate robots that keep accidentally kicking kids in balls?
I have seen that. It's pretty ridiculous, dude.
Kids getting hit by robots is not funny, but it is really funny.
My God. Anyway, the point is that AI is damaging, particularly when used by big companies. That's a problem that needs to be addressed dramatically, like now. But to say it's useless is absurd, brother. It is not useless. What?
I just want to express to people that obviously we've been talking about AI a lot, and there's going to be some rumors out there. I did not hire this caller to make it so easy for me to look so much more knowledgeable on this. And you can take that to the bank. Sue me. Discovery will not find a thing. I can assure you.
You want us to take another couple
I didn't
punches?
Hear no bell. Goodness sakes,
wow.
bud.
Once again, however much it has helped you, what did it take to get us to that point? How many trees did we burn?
So now we're arguing it's not useless.
Like I said, that was hyperbolic to begin.
And Benjamin, this isn't no. It's not hyperbolic, because Benjamin, we would agree with AI is extremely useful, but we did not adequately cover the cost of AI, and we did not protect our planet from climate change before implementing it and figure out an environmentally safe way to develop it. If you want to say it's extremely useful but not worth the cost, I would tell you exactly correct. Just like cars are extremely useful but not worth the cost of the emissions that are killing us through climate change. Extremely useful. And yet we keep driving cars.
Sure. I think we're more on the same page than you think we are.
I think this is a way for you to try to rewrite a little bit of where you came from, because I think if you're pretending your thesis wasn't the core to your thesis wasn't the uselessness of AI. Look, man, we all do things to protect our egos. I brush my hair a little bit forward because I know I have a receding hairline. You lie about your position in debates.
So you've changed your mind then? Have we won? Have we changed your mind in this debate? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that is not a good thing. Can we agree on that?
Okay. Yes. We are. AI in a capitalist framework is not a good thing. I'm bored. I'm moving it. We've only got 4 minutes left. We'll give them to Jeff. That's how bored I am. Sorry, Jeff. Jeff catching strays, but you haven't met Jeff yet. Jeff from New York, you're on the line with Jimmy and Owen. Jeff, you going to take back that dumb stuff you were saying about AOC earlier?
Hello. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to I wasn't trying to if you know what I mean, start anything in the chat. I was just saying something that a lot of people usually get wrong about her.
Okay. But you were talking about that she can't relate to people because you think she grew up rich.
Well, I know that she didn't grow up rich, but I was just saying that.
Where did she grow up?
She grew up in Yorktown Heights in New York,
which is in
Westchester County.
It's in the Bronx. Where? What did her dad do for a living?
That I'm not sure about.
Architect. What did her mom do for a living?
I'm not sure about that either.
Cleaned houses. What did she do for a living?
I know that she used to be a bartender.
Did she end her, when she was in school, did she end school with or without debt?
I believe with debt.
How much?
I'm not too sure.
What is, at least $15,000, what is her current net worth estimated to be?
I'm not sure about that either.
$125,000, which includes her retirement savings. So what class would you describe her as having always been in and in now, even as a member of Congress?
I would say that's probably lower middle class.
Yeah. So maybe the whole she can't relate. What does she know? Maybe that was a little bit, what did you need her to come from starving poverty? What did you need from her to be able to say that she actually can relate to regular fucking human beings? I grew up poorer than her and I still think she can relate. Also, not to mention she exposed herself and did work in, I don't know what words to call it, but lower class communities. So I'm just saying, come correct before you. Anyway, you've got 1 minute. What else did you need?
I was actually calling in to get some deconstruction advice.
I already gave you it last week and you didn't do it. Before you start posting right-wing propaganda, go do some Googling. Because you did it with AOC today. Anytime you think you have a confident, okay, but here's what the Republicans are still right on so much that you think you want to post it, pause and go look it up.
Yeah, that's definitely a good way for me to start.
Yeah. All right, cool. You need anything else, Jeff?
That's it for tonight. Thank you so much.
I'm trying to look up the average net worth of a congressperson. The median net worth of a congressperson right now is $1 million. And that's AOC is only worth $125, including her retirement savings.
Damn, I'm surprised it's that low for congressmen who get lobbyists to pay them tons and tons of money.
Yeah, well, there is also the artificial lowness, like you saw with Supreme Court justices who weren't getting direct cash, were just getting luxuries paid for them. That kind of shit too, yeah.
Right.
All right. Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you. Have a good night.
His name was Jeff. It's from a movie.
I picked that up.
What'd you pick up?
That his name was Jeff.
It was a good opportunity for you to say dead ass.
Oh, I don't know the reference.
I'm going to just add, I was just, because I said, what did you pick up? Anyway.
Okay.
I'm just going to add, we were right. I don't think it's going to fit. I got to fix my banner and I'm going to have to use vibe coding to do it. We were right. MAGA can't debate. Go watch The Line After Dark. Luthien, who's on The Line After Dark? I know it's Forrest. Who else?
Yeah, it's Forrest and John, I think.
We passing it over to them?
We're passing that. Yes, the baton. Here, I'm going to pass it over to you, and if you'll just take that out of.
I will take that. I will take it.
And now, if you'll pass that to Forrest and John.
Got it.
Unfortunately, they don't watch, so they won't know to continue the bit. Bye, everybody.
Later.
If Forrest does this on